Looks good to me. Alright, Haynes, we're live.
What's up?
Camera's on. Audio seems. Oh, you know what? Audio's probably not good.
Alright, ladies and jerks.
Because I cleaned this thing, so I think I hit all the knobs. That should be better. Up, 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 up. Let's see.
I have a request, Monoxus.
Yeah.
Alright, so up next on Narc Elvis. And it turns out he's the one who assassinates John Lennon. And like he got some like Mark David Chapman, and he's like, right now, Fetty, stand here and hold this book. Like, and the cops show up and they arrest. Cause fun fact, the guy who killed John Lennon, he had a copy of Catcher in the Rye on his person when they arrested him.
Really?
And in court, his only testimony was reading a passage from that book.
Seriously?
Yes. Mark David Chapman. What's going on, ladies and jerks? Mark David Chapman, John Lennon's assassin. Ladies and jerks, buenas noches. Gracias por tu presencia aquí hoy noche. Thank you for tuning on in to twitch.tv/Monoxus. Alright? I'm Stained Haynes.
That totally wasn't what it looked like.
He's Monoxus. He's opening up root beer. Alright, ladies and jerks? Because that is one of the topics we are here to discuss. One of them being soda.
Jamaican root beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Ladies and jerks, Crucial Pain, buenas noches.
Alright, let me fix that for you, because I was playing with things. Now you should see things, right? You
Are
should
we
see
good?
things, we should hear
We're good.
things. And Times Square looks good today. No one's rallying for Israel or
So there's
Palestine
no-
anymore.
So there's no mild, standoffish jerks with flags and a lot to prove.
Not this week, which
Not a lot of that these days.
I don't
Or like-
remember
Well,
which-
not a lot of that right now.
I don't remember which words mean things it was when we talked about that, but I'm pretty sure I said 2 weeks. I don't know how long it's been, but we've
I
forgotten
think-
about it.
I think now we have to play that song by Bare Naked Ladies where it's been 1 week since you look at me.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. There were people over here with flags and then things got lit on fire. Da, 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 da,
Oh,
da,
but you know what
da.
it is, though? It is Pride Month, so like everything's going to get hijacked.
Ah,
by the
yes.
But we'll get there when we get there. To be honest, I think first things out the gate, we got to talk a little bit about where we've been.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new job. I'm not talking about it because legally I'm not allowed to.
This is true.
I actually signed paperwork. I can't talk about it.
So-
So I got a job. Been busy all week.
So we have had to adjust because life gets in the way of a lot of things, ladies and jerks. All right. So, luckily we are able to stream on Saturday. And Saturdays in general, or just this Saturday?
I think moving forward, I was told Saturday I'm going to be off almost all the time because as of right now, because I'm the newest member of the team, all of the previous members have fully covered everything on Saturday that's needed.
Right.
I don't know. Also, where I'm at, weirdly enough, the hours are what to me it's what you would imagine the inverse was. The weekends when they close early. But whatever, I don't care.
Okay.
Most places don't do that. So, yeah, Saturday should be good, with the exception of next Saturday. I think I already told you about that. That's what I got to do. It's how it worked out. It's the same thing with
So you heard it here first. All right, ladies and jerks.
I don't know if I'm free any other day next week. Actually, I have to think about that. I have to check my schedule.
Well, keep me posted. Keep them posted.
Yeah, 100%. But by July-ish, because I'm doing the whole like first month of getting everything settled in. Sometime in July, like July, August, it should just be like, and now you have a set schedule for the most part. So, shouldn't be as big of a deal in terms of scheduling things. Would you like to talk about what happened with you?
Oh, yes. Well, I had gotten surgery. Long story short, it was incision over here. Don't worry, no one died. Thankfully, it was malignant, not benign. So I have been out of commission for a while. I can't even do anything involving exerting over 10 pounds for the next 11 days. No running, no lifting of weights, but walking is totally fine and allowed. And so is putting up flyers, so I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Post-surgery, I'd call that a slam dunk, because I'm really not good at like shooting 3 throws, honestly. And 3-pointers, oof. Even honestly, the only things I was really good at in basketball, was passing, stealing, and rebounds. So, anyways, yeah.
I was good at the running part,
So,
which is why I played more football than basketball.
touche.
Um,
So thankfully, all parties involved are A&OK, despite the fact that I have to abstain from doing things that are good for my cardiovascular system, for my health and my heart. Because of surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So don't fuck around, ladies and jerks.
Yeah, for real. Take care of yourself.
So
Also, you got suspended on Twitter, which that's kind of it's not a big deal, but
it's not the first time it's happened, but it was the first time I've been given a 7-day.
all I'm saying is if I'm sure there are people this entire week who have had a moment of like, you know what, 718 TV hasn't posted anything, and you're pretty consistent posting wise. You know what I mean?
I'd like to say so.
You're no mass bastard. Like, you're not every hour on the hour. Here's a meme, but.
Well, that is that is kind of his insignia, and that's what makes him. Listen, he's almost, I think, halfway back to. He had 20,000 before he got banhammered.
Yeah, what's he at now? You know?
I think 10, more than 10.
That's not bad.
3 strikes and you're out. Watch out, Twitter, don't play. Okay, you're not wrong. All right.
Well, to be fair, didn't you get got because of some old post?
Well, it was a post from May. Long story short, okay, it was the Jazz Jennings 4chan screenshot, and the accompanying text was, "There are nameless and faceless heroes whose writing will outlast most of what we do in this life."
Mm-hmm.
And it was
What's going on, Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid, buenas noches. So
How you doing?
the screenshot was, I could, you know what? This warrants explanation.
Yeah, you can bring it. Is it gonna get us fucking licked on Twitch though?
No.
You just have to read it. Is
Yeah,
that what you're doing?
I'm just reading literature. Don't mind me.
You're reading aloud. It's part of our tags.
Yes.
It's something that we do here.
Hold on. Hold on. Give me. I've got to find it the old-fashioned way on the fucking interbuts. But the point is, someone had took it very personally.
Hey, Kool-Aider.
And they.
Thank you for your 3-month subscription.
Gracias, Kool-Aider.
Thank you very much.
I mean, you are almost as consistent as Narc Elvis. All right, keep it up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And in case you missed it, we've covered very quickly while we've been gone.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job. So my last entire week has been crazy hectic with new job nonsense.
Here we go.
And Haynes had some surgery and got yeeted off of Twitter for a week.
Yeah, I'm down to like almost 2 days left. So
if you haven't seen posts from him and us hanging around,
in fact,
that's why.
We're going to get into the exact reason why.
Yeah.
So, thank you. No, Kool-Aid already knows what's coming up.
I'm just saying.
In Lord of the Rings, Tolkien drew upon the language and themes found in the old medieval hero tales in order to construct a kind of new mythology. The brilliance of Tolkien was his departure from the pagan modes of conduct and morality of these old tales. His creation was a synergistic fusion between Christian thought and pagan language. And so his work achieved a deep resonance with all who read it.
No, this is not going to be Orthodox Universe 2.
We find this passage at the conclusion of Return of the King. The Dark Lord was suddenly aware of him, and his eye, piercing all shadows, looked across the plan to the door that he had made, and the magnitude of his own folly was revealed to him in a blinding flash, and all the devices of his enemies were at last laid to him bare. Adversaries in the stories that Tolkien drew upon, Grendel, Mordred, and the like, often served as obstacles that the heroes could overcome through feats of strength and cunning. Sauron is not like them. When he is defeated, it is not because Aragorn is stronger than him or because Gandalf is wiser. They are not. It is only that his hubris was so great that it never occurred to him that anyone would want to destroy the thing he held so dear. It is not until the final few seconds of his existence that he realizes this mistake. I think that I Am Jazz displays a similar moment. In the pictured scene, Jazz's journey to what he believes is womanhood is almost complete. He is resting after surgery, a triumphant smile on his face, his rotting groin held together by a labyrinth patchwork of stitches and grafts. But as Eru Ilúvatar nudged Gollum over the crack of doom into the fires beneath, so too does the god of our world intervene in this. In a second, the follies of man are undone, and Jazz's crotch explodes, a meaty froth of blood and pus pouring out the hole where his penis used to be. In that moment of blind panic and terror, Jazz is Sauron. All triumph and victory is gone. Only the void remains.
You know, I mean, unless you've read it before, I don't think I've actually heard that. I didn't know what to. So that's what got you yeeted off Twitter for a little while, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird, but I guess, it makes sense. And it was just that post, like
It was that tweet.
the image, not the image of anything, just like
the nameless and faceless like
words. Mm-hmm. So a story and a take from someone on another board got you yeeted.
Well, someone else's words that I had. Well, it wasn't so much the attachment as it was them claiming I was glorifying and laughing at the. I don't even want to get into this, but the point is, they really got stuck up their craw, where they were like, how can you have a video where you talk about the domestic rate of violence in LGBTQ couples, and then you laugh about blank genitalia from this population, and it's like, I'm not laughing, and it seems like you're projecting. You're taking this really seriously. I don't, and like other people started to chime in, ignored them, just to, and I don't. Show me on the doll where it hurt you. Like I would just locked out 7 days. You're in gay Twitter baby jail.
I love when people are like, and you're laughing at it. I feel like every time we've had some kind of take on something that someone got mad about, it's not the take or the context of what we're talking about that's funny. Mm-hmm. It's the reaction that's funny. Because I feel like we take most of these conversations pretty seriously because they're problematic in a lot of ways.
I would say so.
I mean, when we're razzing something, that's different, but there's an active, joking to it. But in the context of, let's talk about the trans community, and it's like, all right, we can talk about them in a multitude of ways, mm-hmm. but the ones that concern us are the ones that are dangerous and problematic, because it's kind of like, let's talk about all the good things in the community.
But right.
That's not doing anything.
But that, I would argue, you know what that is? That is toxic positivity. How about that? Mm-hmm. Huh? Because that doesn't serve anything. It only serves... it helps manifest the things that make... All right, I'll give you an example. Like, how is it that such a marginalized community can make a group of people among them feel even more marginalized when they detransition? And that is something we had discussed earlier, but that's something no one wants to discuss. Well, and their narrative does not fit with this toxic positivity.
I was thinking about this the other day. I forgot who I was talking to because it just kind of came up briefly.
Danger, that is a Terry hat.
Fatal Fury, baby. It doesn't have the nice metal plates from the other version. It's just the regular cloth one because eventually he got the metal plated thing.
Right.
I don't have that. I want to get one of those.
That does look extra sweet, fancy.
Holy fuck, it's a hot one today. Is it? It was not that bad over here today. It was actually kind of muggy because of the possible rain. What I was going to say is...
What is the weather like there, Whisper? Also, what's good, homie?
Yeah.
Danger, how you been, Chief?
I was talking and I was like, I like how nowadays, because all these different things are coming to a boiling point and everyone's all going crazy over it, and
Wild Goose Live! Buenas noches. It's nice and cloudy over where you are. I'm curious.
Same
if
here,
you were to go
cloudy.
For a walk, is it humid? What's it like? Let's say you're gonna go for a 1 hour walk. Could you? I mean, cloudy, sure, but does that mean humid? Does that mean windy?
Be quiet for 1 second.
Oh, are there happenings in the background?
No, I think the AC is being picked up, and I just want to throw a quick filter over it.
Uh-huh, okay.
See that? See that hum? I don't like that. Okay, you can keep talking.
All right. So, nice and cloudy here. Yeah, kind of muggy still. 90 degrees outside. 90 degrees? Ave Maria, ¿dónde está? 90 with 76% humidity. I mean, I'm a proponent of the cold, so that sounds to me honestly, the warmer months are like the sun is this anvil of oppression and heat that is 10 feet away from everywhere I go whenever I'm out of doors. That's how it feels like to me. Just glad the sun isn't beating into my windows.
I think I got it.
We got it? Are we good, ladies and jerks?
Well, it's not on my end, so it's on there, and that's not my problem.
What
I was saying, though, was, because I was relating it to how, because we talked about the detransitioning thing, and I brought that up. The same way people don't understand, but how can this older person have this outdated, like, racist mentality now, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, well, think about it. You're a product of your times. You grew up with people who saw nothing wrong with it, and it was culturally normal to do. So 20 years later, when everyone's like, hey, we're all trying to not be like a racist, that person's like, I don't understand. And I was like, 10 years
Oh,
from now.
and on top of that, they saw other people doing the same thing, and
Yes.
it was okay.
So 10 years from now, because it's already starting to happen, the whole like detransitioning, and someone's like, oh my God, you turned like, there's going to be a 10-year mark from now, maybe 10, 15, whatever, how like long it's going to take, 20, where there's going to be a group of people who are still going to look at the transitioning 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds going, I see nothing wrong with this, while the rest of the world collectively catches up and goes, that was a horrible mistake. It was a weird phase. It was a product of the times because everyone was going crazy with this the trans movement. So it was like there are adults who do want to transition. Body dysmorphia and all that's a real thing.
Right.
But it got out of hand and we let it go too far. And 20 years from now, we're all going to go, well, shit, that was a mistake. Let's never do that again. But there are going to be some people who double and triple down so hard that they're going to be like, no!
Oh, no, because
Trans kids are a thing.
Eventually, the double think will fall back into triple think. And on top of
No,
this...
the camera needs to be replaced. It's old, so it keeps having focus issues, apparently.
And on top of
Cameraman is not manning it. I don't know what he's doing right now. Last time, I got him on a running schedule, so we're getting rid of that gut. I don't know if that's what he's doing.
I don't know. I hope I didn't see him outside drinking some sort of like super sugary. I don't know if that was iced coffee or a fucking whipped cream something, what have you.
Well, you know what?
And here I am like a jerk bringing coffee black from home.
I was like,
What's
Cameron,
my
you got to stop
problem?
going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting all that junk. So then I showed him like alternatives at Dunkin'. Like if he wants to go to Dunkin', here's how you can eat at a Dunkin' without being like gross. And then he ended up just going to like the fucking artisan donut shop.
Would you like some coffee? Press 1 if you want coffee. All right.
2 blocks away, he goes to the artisan donut shop and gets their garbage junk. And he's like, "What? I'm not eating at Dunkin'." And I was like, "Don't be smart with me." I said, "Don't eat at Dunkin'." So he goes to the fucking and they have donuts that are twice the size. And they put sprinkles on the drinks.
I remember one time I was like, "Listen, cameraman, you shouldn't be eating donuts for breakfast." And he was like, "Okay, can I have baked goods for breakfast?" And I was like, "All right, fine." And then he showed up with like $30 worth of pastries from Laguli's. Like, what the fuck is his problem?
I saw him eating like a cake once, and not like a whole cake, and he was just eating from the cake. He wasn't
just
cutting
scooping in from the inside.
He was just eating the cake, like the whole cake. I don't understand.
He never struck me as the hungry type of guy. I just think maybe he has damaged receptors that obese people and junkies have that lead them down to that behavior. And if that even makes sense, why now?
Wild Goose Live, I actually 100% agree with both of those things. In reference to like the trans thing, there are people who have these problems, mental health issues as well. Any kind of like physical ailments or like whatever, stability things. But people make their identities like it's a player class in a video game. Nowadays, 100%. There are people where it's like, I am sexually gratified and open about my sexuality. And it's like, that's fantastic. But like, remember that part where you have like friends and family and a job and hobbies and those clothes you bought and those books you've read and those movies you've watched and those things you've written and that guitar you never played again because you played it like twice and stopped playing it. Like, and this is me being completely like, I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I actually know those.
This is not a quote tweet. Get it out of your head, you egomaniac.
Like. So it's amazing and then they pick a thing and like that's who I am now.
And that is the armband that they wear, and that is the box with which they have resigned themselves to be checked off into. So just hang on, ladies and jerks. Whisper, I'm gonna be having some coffee for you now. Hang on. Listen, crucial pants. Keep your pants on. I gotta scroll back up. All right.
You don't gotta scroll back up. You don't gotta read everything out loud.
Cause what? No, well, I would like to, ladies and jerks.
I got everything out loud.
It was one thing to acknowledge body dysmorphia is a real disorder, but to fetishize it has been really harmful to vulnerable people. And yes, Wild Goose Live, we did also discuss this in a past video. TLDR, I'm glad other people are chiming in on this.
Honestly, if you've been paying attention, much like anything that is absurd and over the top, and it doesn't always have to be a negative thing like transitioning 3-year-olds into cutting off their genitalia by 10. it can be things like, yo, why are you still racist? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you can be, and here's my argument for that: you can totally be a bigot without being a full blown racist and have some reason to justify it. And I think that's more realistic. It's the like, I hate everyone of a certain type because reason that I don't like them versus
Oh,
like I've had
I'm more than willing to concede to like I'm half Greek, so like I'm more than willing to concede for Turks to irrationally hate Greeks, so I could irrationally hate Turks. I got no qualms with this.
it's kind of like the whole we've got a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment over at 718 TV,
Yeah.
and people could very easily be like, they don't like the Chinese. No, we don't like their infrastructure or their government or their line of thinking or the fact that they behave like they have a hive mind and that they're not human
And that
and they
whole
look at other people and
and
like,
that whole Chinese lung herpes, which like at first the mainstream media tried to pivot and call it like the Shanghai shivers, but that didn't sell, and no one wants to call it what it is: Chinese lung herpes.
speaking of that, there's also I believe there was a recent pullback on the investigation into the lab thing again. But and again, someone could look at what I just said, that whole like, and go, he said that about Chinese people. I said it about China. What did I say about people as individuals? Nothing.
That's right. Although this ends all right, so
My
you see,
homeboy, one of the dudes I hang out with regularly.
Lo Pan.
Yeah, Chinese native. And you know what? His family came from China, and you know why they're here now?
To make money.
No.
Oh, that's why everyone comes to this country.
Well, I mean, they do make money, but like, China wasn't that great.
Why would they leave paradise?
It's pretty good. Point is, so the whole like, I don't know. Like I said, 20 years from now, I'm gonna get to be an even more bitter old man, and get to look at some of these people with their half-shaved, dyed heads with like a pony and like Steven Universe tattoos, who may or may not have cut their nipples off at some point, and be like, damn.
Thank you, Comcast.
All right, camera, let's reset. I wonder what that was. Let's find out. Come on, camera.
DMCA by E3. Hey, do you pick up audio though? Like, let us know. I mean,
It says the audio's still running. Wait a second.
cause Chad.
Hold on. I can do something real quick.
Divorce?
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 No, not that.
You gotta play it now though. No, later. Oh, so okay, cool. Later. Thank you. I thought I was just yelling into the fucking wind. We're trying to fix the camera right now because it says EOS webcam utility and there's a red X and it sucks. We're trying to figure it out.
Wait, you're not working now? Oh, I know what happened. Gotcha. I know what happened. Oh boy.
Alright, thank you, Danger. Thank you, Wild Goose Live. Hey, Wild Goose Live, I have a question. So, on the Twitter, you are at Wild Goose Alt, if I am not mistaken, if memory serves me correctly. So, what happened to the original Wild Goose? Are you the original Wild Goose? If you are not, did you fight the original Wild Goose in a duel? And did you beat them? I'm curious. It means you gotta put the USB into the red X. Alright, well, I mean, I don't have to buy dinner first, do I? I'm not putting on pants. I don't care if it puts on a fucking summer dress right now.
No, I know what happened. Or at least I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened. There, enjoy Times Square for a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, he knows what happened. Hey, you guys want to hear something silly? You know that, ladies and gentlemen, we got him guy? That meme? That's Paul Bremer. Paul Bremer is best known for dismantling the entire bureaucratic structure of Iraq and letting the country fall. Okay, so I gotta get off camera then because I'm doing something illegal.
According to Twitch, yeah.
You can't see me.
It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. They didn't see nothing. The camera wasn't working, remember? Yeah. I gotta fix that. I know. I
Oh, Kool-Aider.
That was entirely a wiring issue.
Alright.
So long story short, remember last time I had all that like hooked up and then the cat jumped on it and just pulled all of my wires down?
Yeah.
So I reset the wires and moved them. They are still not organized properly. So I think something just yanked it.
Oh.
Smoke crack in a hot tub on Twitch. I mean, I got no problem with the hot tub. I think the smoking crack might get us in trouble. There's a good chance that'll get us banned. Crack streams? I mean, I was talking about that last time. When are we going to get, like, alcoholism streams? When are we going to get, like, you know, I have an addiction streams? I don't see why it's not a thing.
Legalize crack. Ask us why.
Yeah, like the legalize. I mean, technically, I'm upset because Twitch doesn't want us drinking and smoking on camera, but, like, why not? We're like consenting adults and it's legal.
Well, I mean,
what? Because advertisers don't want it?
Because they can't tax it yet. That's why. I mean, okay.
Cigarettes and alcohol? What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you meant smoking crack in a tub on Twitch.
No, what I'm talking about, like.
Hey, listen, Wild Goose Live has got the good ideas right here.
They
okay?
put all these stupid fucking tags.
Now,
Hold
hang on.
If they put all these stupid fucking tags and they didn't put an 18 plus or a 21 plus option, why can't I just limit my fucking Twitch to 18 and 21 plus based on smoking and drinking content? Or for that matter, like 18 plus. And guess what? My titties is coming out because it's for adults.
And why is Twitch having the onus on you of like, oh, you're not the parents, but you're responsible for what their kids watch?
Fuck that. Fuck the parents. Fuck what the kids are watching.
Oh, so listen, Wild Goose. So, are we smoking the crack out of a crack pipe? Are we freebasing it? What are we doing here?
I would like to use a crack pipe for aesthetic reasons.
Okay.
So it's very clear we're smoking crack. You know, like stereotypically smoking crack.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it would look good, you know. It's a smoking crack stream.
All right. No.
Absinthe? I mean, if we're gonna drink absinthe on stream, we got to get the whole absinthe set up, and I don't want to do that.
And now hang on, that's a lot of fucking money too. Absinthe, you got to get that from France, don't you?
No, I don't think so. Not anymore. Pretty sure you can get it here. I know a few bars you can get absinthe around here, so it's definitely doable now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The kids can look at screen and choose what to watch. It's the kid's responsibility. That's how I've always felt. But this is the old, like, you know, if you're on the internet, you're subject to the internet. So it's why they used to have the whole, you know, are you 18? And if you click yes, it's no longer the website's problem.
On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog.
So, but like, I guess, like, thanks to, what was that? I think it was Pornhub had an issue where it was like, they were doing the, are you 18? Yes. Mm-hmm. And then they had a huge backlash of, like, underage people. So they had to completely wipe the, like any kind of homemade section thing. Yeah. Like, you had to be a straight up verified person and go through a whole, like, send us your ID process, which I think is fair. Like, I don't know why it isn't the process in the first place. Mm-hmm. To submit something. Like,
well, people
I had to submit personal information to Twitch to stream. Why could somebody not submit personal information to Pornhub to put their, like, genitals on there?
Really?
Yeah. Once you get, like what, the affiliate program, they start asking for private information because they're going to be sending you money.
I smoked roach blunt weed out of an apple in an nasty garage. We've all been there. Hell yeah, dude. Apples are the best when you run out of papers.
I've had homies who, back in the day, I didn't realize it going in because I just smoked weed and drank a lot back in the day. Then it was like, yo, these people are having a fucking, like, party. You want to go? Yeah. and then you end up in a basement, and people are like doing coke and crack, and it's just like a drug den, and you're like, oh, this isn't a party.
This is no. This is. I mean, this. I don't see a punch bowl.
There's no music. Everyone's falling asleep. Yeah,
I hear gunshots outside.
and it's like I gotta go. I didn't know it was that kind of party.
So, ladies and jerks, one of the topics. Hold on. The credit card processors made them. Pornhub do all that over child trafficking concerns. Oh well, I mean, isn't it?
Yes,
well, listen.
but it also weeded out underage girls who are putting their stuff on the site.
Institutions don't move unless like bodies start to pile up.
Oh,
Like,
100%. Yeah, you can.
even like the FDA.
I mean, any website has like. How long did it take for Facebook to have to monitor their Facebook Live, and how many people got like assaulted, raped, and murdered on Facebook Live before it was like, did you guys realize that people were streaming that shit? Oh no, we don't monitor it. Monitor it, please.
Can I get one?
Can you? Can you drink with your face all fucked up?
Yes, I can.
All right.
As long as I'm not lifting or running or exerting myself over 10 pounds or more.
Just want to make sure you're not going to hurt yourself.
Like, oh no, I'm hurting myself. Cheers.
I don't know, man. Surgery's a hell of a thing. I've never had it, but you know, I've heard things. I don't know. Maybe you're on some pain meds. You're not supposed to drink.
And then before you know it, I end up becoming Narc Elvis.
See what I mean?
Or the drums. Up next on Narc Elvis, you'll never get away with this, Narc Elvis. And it's a guy getting thrown into the fucking ocean with weights around his like fucking ankles.
I like Elvis and the rocket ship.
In space?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do, Elvis? Pray for mama.
Elvis, maybe not like a Godzilla, maybe like Elvis wrestling a giant robot. No, so we explained it a little earlier. Haynes had to get some surgery. Was it the neck or the chin?
Yeah, it was over underneath my jaw. I had a tumor right by my salivary gland, and it turns out it was benign, thank God. But the problem is, it made me wonder. Like, first of all, the last time something like this happened,
Jamaican soda. It's not Red Stripe.
The last time this happened, I thought it was like my lymph node because I had to get a tooth taken out because the tooth got fucked up. So when the body's dealing with an infection, the lymph node swells up. So I thought, oh, it's this shit again. So I go like, you know, to my fucking dentist, and he's like, this has nothing to do with your teeth. You should go to a doctor. So I go to a doctor, and they're like, we got to take X-rays. And then it turns out, oh, it's right under your jaw. It's right next to your salivary gland. We got to get that out. So no, the good news is my teeth is fine. The bad news is it was like an RPG where you go back and then you come up and you're the thirstiest living thing on fucking planet Earth.
And you should probably quit smoking.
And yes, this is true. The doctor said that too, although he said that to everyone because, you know, he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. But you actually had to have surgery and it was in your mouth. So, like, that already shows your mouth is susceptible. You should probably quit smoking.
Touche. Although,
just put it out there.
Although,
technically, I'm in the chain of health professionals now.
So, like, he took a fucking Hippocratic oath too.
You should see the questionnaire I got to give people.
Really?
It's worse than like. All right, here's the reference I give people. When you go to the doctor to tell them what's wrong, how long would you say a doctor visit lasts? Roughly. You have an issue, you go in. The doctor says, you know, that because the doctor has no idea what you're coming in for. They have like a general.
Are they running tests?
Sure. How long would you say you spend at the doctor?
I would say
for a regular life thing.
You mean after all the paperwork is done?
So like you called in, you made an appointment, you have X issue, and they forward that to the doctor. It's in the office, maybe an hour, right? And that's just like questionnaire, test, all that, right?
Yes.
So the same thing for me. My whole assessment at my job takes about an hour, and there's a full physical, and like yes, so I put people through a very similar ringer to you would to the doctors, except for me, it's all about like. Let's see what your body can do.
I quit smoking in August last year, and you can do it, Haynes. All right. Well, you know what? As much as I hate to admit that smoking is like steak and potatoes, it is perhaps the ultimate vice. Even people who don't do drugs, they smoke. How crazy is that? People who don't do drugs, but they smoke. Even people who don't drink. In fact, in AA, there are always people who are fiending for cigarettes and always reaching for the coffee.
Well, alcoholics,
and they also give you smokes in mental health places.
Alcoholics or any addict in most situations tend to have to treat the fixation, which is why, like, if you see an ex-alcoholic going out to eat, they might end up drinking like 8 sodas in the process of a meal because to keep that like oral fixation of having like a drink with their food, they're just like soda. like coffee, soda, cigarettes, chewing gum, anything to keep the oral fixation, so they're not like
Wow.
put a drink in it.
Okay.
And other addicts have a similar thing, but that's why it's like, when you're getting off drugs, you probably want to smoke cigarettes, something to keep you like stimulated.
Right. Although, well, I would argue then there comes a point where you're like exchanging one vice for another. Although I don't want to call it an addict for a vice.
Yeah, but let's say you're coming off of smoking like meth. Cigarettes it's not good, but I mean, on the scale of things, I'd argue probably better for you.
Wild Goose Live goes, I had a swollen lymph node and I pushed out all the pus with my hand by massaging my face. Metal Gear Solid 6 is basically going to be Wild Goose Live treating infections on open battlefields of a post-apocalyptic America.
Probably treat that differently though next time. Just put that out there.
That is now, like, what? Did the pus come out your fucking mouth? Did it fucking break through the skin? Did it go through your fingertips and then you had to fight a gross evil creature
a
that
fantastic
secreted out of
transition. Danger asks, is this a good transition to soda? And that's exactly what I was setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you brought it up. And
Thupa Fibra goes, my stimulant is tea. Dos vidania, Thupa Fibra.
Yeah, what's going on, Thupa? I love Thupa's little symbol there. Anyway, but yeah, so seeing as how soda was brought up, and we've been talking about current events for 45 minutes.
Right.
And I honestly, soda, I don't know. Like you said soda, I have no idea what you want to talk about soda. Everything else I can logically see why you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, okay. So first of all, soda isn't something I go. Yes, that's right, Thupa Fibra. You and me 1v1 in a steel cage match. We're gonna Cossack dance it live, baby. All proceeds are gonna go to the Pointy Stick Foundation, which is brought to you by skiers like you. If you're coming in live here on Twitch.tv, I'm going to be talking about sodas. He's Monoxus. And first of all, I'd like to talk about the old school Fanta commercials because the Fanta girls were just gorgeous, all right? Now, all the Fanta girls were gorgeous, but the very first original one, the one with the original commercial, it was like, wanna Fanta, don't you wanna Fanta, tun. That one, mwah, minga. It was ridiculous.
Let's see the original Fanta girls.
Here I come and he buys me right away. Haha. Dos vidanya this and dos vidanya that.
These Fanta girls?
What was the second incarnation? Well, listen. All the Fanta girls were it basically set precedent for like these are the archetypes of like attractive women buy your fucking soda.
I don't know, man. Based on what generation we have here,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mean to be crazy biased.
Yeah.
I'm going to be crazy biased right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can look this up on your own because I'm not going to be explicit about it.
Uh-huh.
One of these ladies has a big old schnoz, and it's super distracting. Do you see it?
Yes.
And I can't tell if that's actually her face or if there's some kind of issue with the edit of this picture. Because it was definitely edited. And not in like a meme way.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one's mouth, they definitely stretched her like
right.
Like her smile is unnatural.
Right, and her neck is just kind of on an impossible angle.
Her mouth is also stretched. So like
this is actually a mildly horrifying. Aren't there pictures that aren't this fucked up in Photoshop?
Is her arm too short?
What the fuck is this?
Right?
Yes. It looks like a nub.
What is happening in this photo?
Hold on. Oh, remember that military ad and then the guy's like, now we got the saber. To hell with you, Grendel Magma Beast.
Like, look, her nose is not that big.
All right.
Her mouth is not that wide. And she doesn't have a nub for an arm.
Right, she's got two arms.
Like...
Okay, so...
That promotional artwork, like, really is trying to push the sodas up to the front, and it warped their bodies.
It makes them all seem like creatures you'd fight in an RPG.
Alright, so I just wanted to confirm.
Okay, so right, now that this fucking crisis of confidence has overcame itself, where Monoxus doesn't have to put on colonial space marine armor with a pulse rifle to shoot gigantic noses with teeny tiny legs, striding across the land, sucking up all the free oxygen and air. He's not going to stand for that. In fact, it's probably going to be Monoxus who's going to do that whole nuke it from orbit just to be safe nonsense while he's there. I wouldn't hold it against you. The point is, Fanta. Fanta has a number of different flavors, like, pineapple, orange, grape.
Fanta has one good flavor and then a bunch of mediocre flavors.
What is the good flavor according to you?
Strawberry.
Really?
Yeah.
You like Fanta strawberry?
It's the best one. I mean, if you're gonna
They
go
have-
for a sugary drink, you might as well go for one that tastes good.
They also have a Fanta root beer in places like Europe. I'm not sure how prominent it is in Latin America, but there's not a lot of it in Ecuador. The point is, Fanta was one of the few sodas I would go out of my way to find. Now, there are a number of sodas that are quite delicious, to be honest with you, and you don't even have to be a fatty puke to enjoy something like a Deward's creamsicle soda.
Yeah, Stewart's, Boylan's are also really good.
Sometimes you could find like old school soda companies, or you could find not just cherry but black cherry.
You know, what used to have really good soda. Bear Burger. And I don't know if it was like they had their own in-house thing or they had a deal with another company. But Bear Burger used to sell like cane soda, cane sugar sodas, and they had a blueberry soda.
Really?
And that shit was amazing. I
Hmm.
don't think they sell them anymore because I know someone that worked at a Bear Burger and not anymore.
Real? Okay. I don't think I've ever had blueberry soda, to be honest with you.
Really good.
I don't even think I've had a blueberry anything that wasn't artificial coloring or flavoring, other than pie. I did have a homemade blueberry pie once. That was kind of near unbeatable.
To be fair, I avoid soda when possible.
I know it's not. It's like the fucking fourth worst thing you could put in your body outside of drugs and alcohol.
It's pretty high up on the list. You really, I mean, I understand when you got a craving for something. I drink diet sodas.
Duganash, buenas noches, not much, homie. Currently discussing soda. Jarritos. Oh, Jarritos has like, okay, now hear me out. Their tamarind soda. Mwah. Now, like, all of the Jarritos flavors are fantastic, and they're one of the few places where it's like, oh yeah, we got orange that ain't even fucking orange flavored. Boom, enjoy that. And it tastes even better. They even have the straight up lime soda, which I like.
Yes.
That is always delicious. Fuck. Barks root beer. It is better than A&W root beer. Let the record state, all right?
Root beer? I don't know. I'm not a fan of root beer. I lean more for cream sodas
Really?
than root beer. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
So is there any cream soda brand in particular you like A&W?
Oh, like the cream soda I'm most.
Like Stewart's has cream soda, right?
I definitely I like Stewart's orange and cream, but I like Boylan's cream soda the most. Unless I can, I mean, like A&W makes a good cream soda. It's not. I mean, theirs tastes kind of, I don't know, chemically. But I also think because I usually either drink diet soda, which is full on chemicals,
Right.
to give it its flavor, or the closest to like cane sugar I can get, where it's just like this is soda, cane sugar, and a natural flavor.
Well, that's one of the beauties of like back when Western beef used to be a thing over at the edge of Steinway and Broadway. You could get sodas from Latin America where you could get like Mexican Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I mean you can
Like-
still get that stuff around here sometimes. You know who had some really good soda? I forgot all the brand names, but when I took a trip over to like Boston a little while back, we drove up to like get some seafood, and we went to what was the supermarket over there?
Turkey Home?
Fuck. There's a supermarket
Stop and Shop?
over in the northeast, and they had a whole
Sneeden Feed?
I don't know. They had an amazing selection of just like natural like sodas
Mhm.
I've never seen in my life.
Really?
And I think we ended up buying like because we were there for a couple of days, so we were like, let's just fucking grab some. And I got like 6 different ones that I drank.
Cash and Carry, Giant Eagle?
I don't remember the name. I'm gonna be honest. It might have been Cash and Carry though.
All right.
Yeah. No, I don't remember the name. All I'm saying is, for some reason, there's a very, and like they're only a couple of states over, but like all of their sodas were like natural ingredient sodas, brands I've never heard of, and they were all delicious, all of them. Even the fucking restaurants had better sodas. It's kind of silly.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Perhaps there may be a Monoxus Returns to New England stream one of these days.
Maybe.
Where he's just going to walk around and he's like, get away from me, I'm from New York.
Basement mentions the Moxies. Moxies, honestly, I don't mind them, but Moxie I have the same problem with Moxie that I have with Dr. Pepper.
What's good, Basement?
It actually tastes like someone was like, hey, you want a soda that tastes like something that comes in a medicine bottle? Like, Dr. Pepper and Moxie just taste medicinal. I don't like it.
All right, Basement, you had caught us when we were in the middle of discussing Fanta. So first of all, I want to reiterate my point earlier. Number one, The Fanta commercial is the very original one because there have been more than one run of Fanta Girls. So the very first original run where it was like, wanna Fanta, don't you wanna Fanta? It kind of sort of covered the scope of like, all right, like, you like bitches, right? So like, here's the darkest skin we have that's allowed on TV. Here's the blonde one that's tall and looks like she has daddy issues, and you got the two colors in between, like that coffee with cream, and then the you're clearly like Dominican or Puerto Rican.
All the new Fanta girls, I think they're all like mid-range brown tones.
Really?
I think so.
Because well, I mean, you find Latin Americans of all colors. Like hell, if anyone has ever seen the movie El Mariachi, the villain is like one of the whitest looking people of all time.
Let me at least I can pull it up.
So
I want to.
Fanta, one of the few sodas I will go out of my way, and Monoxis isn't wrong. The cherry flavor is kind of OP.
Strawberry.
Excuse me, strawberry. All right, look at this guy. Number 2.
Just saying.
There are some sodas that I will go out of my way for. Barks Root Beer, I very much enjoy it more than A&W Root Beer. I'd also like the record to state that the Creamsicle Stewart soda is pretty good. Sometimes Dr. Brown's, if they have Dr. Brown's, I will pick up Dr. Brown's. Even if I'm not going to drink it there right there on the spot. No, I must get it.
I'm with you, Crucial Pain. I'll take the blonde one too. Haynes, you know what I just realized? I think the Fanta Girls got canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because they uphold the unhealthy stereotype of like good-looking women. Grapefruit soda is almost universally good. All right, they're cool later. I'd like to take you up. Oh, even celery soda tastes pretty good. I don't know if anyone has ever had celery soda, but it exists. Tastes a lot better than you'd think it would. Dujan 69. Test. I'm testing my love for you. Test. Microphone test 2, 3, and 4. I test you like the waters in El Salvador. Everybody's fucking canceled. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nick Mullen is like the only comedian to survive the 2010s. He wasn't canceled. He just never put himself in a spot to be canceled.
Yeah, I think like the newest...
Duganesh, what the hell happened? Why are you here? Why are you on the second Dujan 69 Void Walk Space? What happened to the original screen name? They're like the Marlboro Man, a Phantom. Wild Goose Live, we gotta get you in the pit of death so you could fight someone for their corner office.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know if it was canceled or if it was just that, well, because like recently, I guess there's no more Fanta Girls. The commercials don't have the Fanta Girls
So
anymore.
what is it, like the Fanta non-binary, like disabled
No, I think
dancers?
I think they just have like regular, like, you know, these companies have stupid commercials where they just do dumb things.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those.
Oh, okay. Whisper the Great redeemed his message and states, this is the PSA that Burger King is alien food, and if you enjoy it, I question your humanity. Carry on.
I mean, I don't eat Burger King, but you seem to feel strongly about fast food. Why Burger King in particular?
Well, I mean, I'm a little adverse to Wendy's because wasn't it said that like 25% of the beef patties in Wendy's are just soy?
Is that true?
I believe so. I mean, I'm not trying to be like, look it up, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Nick Mullen was canceled. He lost that big Super Bowl commercial that one time. Well, okay, that's you're not wrong. That's.
I mean, I've gone on the record as far as fast food burgers go, and I still consider them fast food because they still function like a fast food restaurant. Five Guys, at least in this part of the fucking country, because other places have other restaurants. Five Guys is the best fast food burger in New York.
I've never had good Burger King.
Burger King was slamming, what, 15 years ago? Ranch?
Fanta had a ranch where they raised and farmed Fanta girls. Really exploitative and brutal.
Yeah, they groomed them to be Fanta girls.
Just Fanta girls roaming in a ranch.
They taught them how to dance and sing, and they were only allowed to sustain themselves off of Fanta. And they could only have the flavor they were meant to represent.
I'd like to picture like
the red girl can only have strawberry. The yellow girl can only have pineapple.
Turns out they're colorblind too. That's the spoiler.
That's why they ended up having like the hair color of the food that they were of the bottle, because they were only allowed to consume yellow dye and red dye and purple dye.
You see them getting busted out
to affect their body.
You see them getting busted out by like Animal Liberation Front or like animal activists, but they're clearly Fanta girls, but they're like exploited and held like lab animals.
Yeah. Also, if you don't want to count just like burgers, Chick-fil-A is pretty slamming too.
Really?
Never, I mean, yeah.
I've never had Chick-fil-A. I live under a rock with Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, ladies and jerks.
But like soda, right? Is there anything? You know what I've come around to? I mean, I guess it's kind of in the same vein as soda. I don't understand why people don't drink seltzer more often. Like a properly flavored seltzer is better than a soda most of the time,
Really?
in my opinion.
Well, I'm a sucker for seltzer water with pieces of fruit in it that you've left overnight. That is a tough act to follow.
You see, I mean, like, and I didn't even have to explain myself, and you thought of a fucking seltzer drink. Like for me, Polar Seltzer, like flavored Polar Seltzer, is amazing.
Five Guys is hard to beat. They won't skimp on any ingredients. Dujan goes in. I like Shake Shack more than Five Guys. Well, Shake Shack is nice, but I mean, like a little too rich for my blood, if you know what I'm saying. That's not something you could have every day.
There seems to be an eternal debate between Five Guys and Shake Shack, which I fall in the Five Guys line.
Yeah.
And my argument will always remain the same thing. Five Guys goes, all right, you want a burger? What kind? And then you go this, or you go this, whatever you want on the burger, and then you can sit there and watch them be like, check out this beef patty, bam, on the grill, cooked properly. Here are your ingredients, here's a fucking burger. You know what I mean? Like, bang.
All right.
Shake Shack, which burger would you like? That one. Okay, and then 2 minutes later, like, here's your fucking burger. And it's like, this is basically McDonald's, but with slightly higher quality. But you're basically just eating junk fast food
Also,
with like better cheese.
the fries are not as bountiful or tasty. They're kind of like, ninny fries. I mean, let's be honest here. These fries are nothing special to write home about when you go to Shake Shack. Also, the beverage sizes that they give you are as if you are a 94-pound person with a bladder the size of a walnut.
Because think about it like this, right? Think about a burger. The quality of the meat. There's only so much you can do with chopped meat quality, unless someone's using like, yeah, our fucking burgers are made from like filet mignon that we grind down. No, all these places are using very similar quality meat, right? So it's the ingredients that go into it outside of that. Five Guys, not high tier ingredients, not high quality meat, like middle of the road quality, but get whatever the fuck you want. So like, it's the kind of burger you could make at home, but they grill it properly.
Yes.
Shake Shack goes...
Well, how can you make it at home if you don't have a grill at home?
But like that's what I'm saying. It's the grill that makes the difference, flavor-wise. And then, but like those ingredients, you can get all those and make it at home. Shake Shack is like, here's a pretty basic burger patty with bread that's pretty basic, and the biggest thing they do is like, and that cheese is pretty good. But then it's also just kind of generic. But you also can't be like, but I also want like jalapenos, bacon, and barbecue sauce on that bitch. Because they're like, no, you either get a patty with cheese and maybe some like lettuce and tomato, or you can have a fucking mushroom instead. Like those are your options. And then people eat it and they're like, wow, this is amazing. I've had better burgers at fucking McDonald's than Shake Shack.
You know what? I've had people make better burgers on a skillet with 4 ingredients. Anyways, just real quickly, catch me at the BK Lounge. Crucial Pain, I will hit you up one of these days with the BK Kids Club Mobile. I know it's not technically fast food. Handcuffing myself to the inside of a meat auger to rescue a Fanta girl. Let the record state that vegan level 6 was achieved by Wild Goose Live when they handcuffed themselves to the inside of a meat auger to rescue the tallest, blondest, most lithe Fanta girl that had ever been spawned, hatched, and groomed in the Fanta Ranch.
I don't know if Wild Goose was the one that wanted the blonde. I think that was me and Dugan.
Oh, then no. Listen. How can you listen? All right. So Queen Sex Man.
Bit of an undersell in the Shake Shack. Here's my sell for Shake Shack. Go to the Five Guys.
Yeah, you heard that here
Stop
first.
Going to Shake Shack. They're not that good.
I second this. Hey, you like Shake Shack? How about you go suck on a lemon?
Go to Five Guys. And if you want to really get a good burger, you're going to have to travel your ass over to Queens, New York. And there's like 3 or 4 spots around here that sell actual burgers that are good.
Yeah, go to Jackson Hole, you prick. Yeah. Take the bus when you get off the train, too, you stunad. Puerco stunad. The fuck out of my neighborhood.
I'm just saying, like, I would gladly sit people down and be like, tell me what kind of burger you want. Like, tell me the exact burger you want. And I'm going to go pick you up 2 burgers. One from Five Guys and one from Shake Shack. and then like eat them both and tell me which one is better. And I think the vast majority will be like, oh yeah, that Five Guys one, bang.
I support this one day.
Especially because I can't wait till they'll be like, oh, and throw some of this on there. And then I go to Shake Shack and I'm like, you put the jalapenos on. They're like, sure, we have jalapenos. And I'm like, bam, Five Guys wins. Also, I love any company where it's like the policy, and this is true. The policy on the fries is like order of fries, and they're like fill the fry cup, put the fry cup in the bag, and then cover the fry cup with fries. That is taught when you work there.
Right.
Because that greasy fry bag, that's part of the sell. Is that they gave you too much fries on purpose, and the bag is greasy and filled. That's
and now it turns into this horrific fry-based survival mode horror where your hands end up becoming this like salty claw of delight. So
just, you know.
Shake Shack is the unimaginative Five Guys. Five Guys is actually have it your way. Ooh, good call. You guys put me onto the seltzer. Basement, the seltzer ain't bad this time of year, especially when it's fucking hot. You know when it's not just hot, it's also humid. Like you step outside and you're like, damn, I should have put deodorant on my balls humid. Seltzer is pretty good in that kind of weather.
I think powder works better than deodorant.
Have it your way. Jesus Christ.
But then you'll get ball cancer from the powder.
This is true. Well, it depends if there's talcum in it, but I digress. I've had Five Guys in England. Everything is fucking huge. I remember the BK fries being amazing when I was a kid, but now they're all gross and soggy or hard as a rock. Hey, remember when there was that really weird period where it was like, oh, wow, the Burger King French fries taste better.
Hold on.
And you're like, I think they put pepper in it.
No, I think I have a theory as to why fast food has declined.
Wow.
Workers. There was an era when we were younger where working at a fast food joint was still looked at as like, you take this job early, you use it to, build money, either like you're in school or you're coming out of school and you're transitioning to a new line of work.
Right.
And people still cared about it. We live in the era of like, motherfuckers made your burger and the cheese is on the cardboard of the box, not the burger, and they're like, pay me $15. Like, we live in that era, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the workers they understand it's a dead end job now. It's been proven time and time again there's no real growth in a fast food industry, and they don't want to pay you well. So you have an influx of people who are like, I am literally doing this to pad paying bills until something better comes up, and they don't give a fuck. To the point where even management's probably like, this is a dead end, and like I'm at my peak, and I make like $40,000 a year as a manager at McDonald's, and like this is as good as it's gonna get. But it took like 20 years to realize that like, no, the food is bad and it's only good if the workers care. And if the worker doesn't care, they're just like, here's your fucking soggy old fries and a burger that's been sitting on a tray for like 10 minutes. Enjoy. And you're like, wow, this isn't good.
This is very not good.
So you got to find that place where the person actually cares. You know what I mean?
Good luck.
That's what I mean. But like when we were younger, like there were people who still were like, because I remember going to McDonald's and Burger King's and I would see people I was going to school with behind the counter who were like, now I'm just saving up so I can get my car. And like when the boss was like, yo, do your thing, they're like, fuck yeah, because like I'm trying to get a raise next week. Back when it was like making $8 an hour was like the wage, and you could actually work up to like 10, 12. But now when it's like, here's your 15, make burger good, they're like, no.
Now he's assistant manager and wears a white polo top instead of a burgundy one.
Yeah, but so when you had to actually work to get paid better, people put effort in. Now when you come in the door and they're like, here's your barely livable like wage, but it's like, this is as good as it's going to get, you're already getting paid the maximum I'm willing to pay you, what motivation is there to work harder? Your lowest...
No mucho.
Your lowest effort still gets you the pay you're going to get. And they're not going to give you a raise, because it's already too much. At least here anyway.
No, just real quickly.
I'm sure there are other states where they still don't have that kind
Pizza is absolutely trash now. Well, you have to go to an actual pizzeria for pizza. I think chain pizza at this point.
Who said that?
Wild Goose Live.
Wild Goose Live, where do you live?
Well, no,
where do you live?
I believe Wild Goose Live is talking about major chains in terms of pizza. Not
where do you live?
Yeah, Wild Goose Live. Like, if you ever like come to Queens, like you could 1v1 us. You could pick which one you have to go up against first.
I've gone on the record. There's no such thing as bad pizza. Pizza scale's lowest a 5 out of 10.
For real?
If it's actually pizza,
oh
yes.
Shit, is there Ohio networking going on? Is Duganash being like, what's up, boys? And then Whisper the Great is like, sup, homie, come through to the 614. And then, like, they're fucking, like, doing donuts in a fucking field, screaming at the top of their lungs, the setting sun.
Also, hold on, just to be fair, as far as, the Wild Goose thing, yeah.
Tejas! Hey, yo.
No, yeah, it's not fair to discuss pizza with New Yorkers. I was about to say, like, We don't have chain pizzerias here.
Right. I mean,
We
well,
just have
no, there
pizzerias.
are, but to order from
Who goes to the chain pizzeria in New York?
there are enough. Okay, there are enough fucking morons who don't know any better, and people who think taste only ends and
No.
begins with your mouth.
You get
Because listen, here in this city, there are places like Domino's that people order from, and honestly, Domino's is just like an unfrozen cracker with cheese on it, and they like spit and they dance on it, and then they take it out the oven, and then they give it to you because you don't know any better. And for dessert, they think you're a fucking animal, so they like step on like Oreo crumbs and put it in a bag, and they'll like you fucking eat anything. Because
things.
like, and if you order Domino's and you live in New York City, I will fight you in a cage match for charity. All right, you shouldn't even be living here. In my eyes, you're worse than the people who move here and can't heart your own city. I heart NY, and then you're here for 2 years and you say bless you, and you say you're from here. No, well, those jerks. The Domino's jerks come first.
Two things.
I hate them more than journalists.
Danger. It reminds you of communism. The whole get your check, do your job. I've been saying that shit about raising minimum wage forever.
Mhm.
Do not raise minimum wage. Make it mandatory to give people raises based on how long they've been with you,
Yeah.
applied to how well they've worked. So let's say you were like, the new mandatory is a
But
yearly
it's
raise.
$5, dude. All right, basement, you son of a bitch, you greasy jerk. I'll find you anytime, any place,
hold
any
on.
parking lot in Seatown.
I'm gonna get to the pizza
Key
thing in a
food.
second because that was another thing I was gonna say because Kool-Aid said some shit. Lower the minimum wage, but make raises mandatory. And let's say you were working somewhere for 5 years and you've been making the same shit wages. You make it like mandatory raises and they're retroactive. So like you've been here for 5 years, you get 5 years worth of raises right now. So you can get up to 15 if you've been with a company for a long time. You can get higher than that. But just static minimum wage for like, welcome to the company. You don't know shit, you can't do shit. Here's your fucking $15. No, that's dumb.
Right.
It leads to like lazy employees. Kool-Aid says you guys have like 20 Papa John's in Manhattan. Right. So here's the thing though about like New York. There's a Papa John's, right? And then like 3 stores down, there's this greasy hole-in-the-wall location, and their walls have like white and red checkerboard design, and there's like a Mexican dude behind the counter, and an Italian dude behind the counter, and a girl at the cash register answering the phones. It looks like the tables haven't been properly cleaned, because there's still like plates and like seasonings on them, but they're cleaned. It's just that they like clean around the seasoning stuff. And there's an old school soda fountain machine, and the pizza is probably like $1 to $2 per slice, and a can of soda is like $1.50. Just go there.
Every single variant and incarnation of that in Manhattan is a safe bet. Like birds fly, grass grows, fish swim, and dingy pizza is best pizza. Because at that place, listen, because if you see the trifecta of like multilingual girl picking up the phone, Latino behind the counter, and the older the Italian guy behind the counter, the better. All right, because he's had time to refine the pizza sauce.
Also, because I'm seeing a pretty common response to my idea of things, places would start firing people that stay too long. Right. And now you have a system where this business is well known for not keeping people on long, so you don't work there.
Whisper the Great is all I go on vacations to eat. Yo, Whisper the Great and Monoxus travel to Thailand to find good Thai food. I'd like to see that one day. Basement, I'm still gonna fight you over that, but that shit's only $5. All right, fine. Come meet me in the parking lot at Seatown, homie. Little Caesars is $5 and not that bad. A hot and ready is not a fucking pizza. No, just stop. Just very quickly, the Italian guy looks like he's a missing link. That guy has to wear gold chains to remind himself where to stop shaving. Hey! Wild Goose Live goes, the same hole in the wall is better logic for Mexican food. Oh, the shadier looking, the better. Twice I've gambled in Chinatown where I'm like, how shady is that place to eat? And the second time, just on whim, I'm like, oh, that's not even a door. That's just plastic flappings, and it turned out to be the dumpling and pork bun place. But one time, I went to this place called Lok Sing Seafood, and I was like, all right, I want seafood. And I'm like more than half the menu was in Chinese, and I was kind of taken aback. But it was like, oh, you have bits of lobster in black bean sauce and fried rice and whatever. And I've always wanted to go there with someone who can translate, like Cantonese, on a menu. Now the point is, other than being shanghaied into an opium den or sold into slavery to make Chanel bootleg bags 20 feet under Canal Street, knee deep in my own filth, chained to the wall. Other than risking that, like, sometimes that whole shady, better, like, ordeal, like, it pans out really well. At least here in America, I imagine if you go somewhere in, like, Shanghai and you try that, like, they sell you into slavery.
I'm sure I'm sure there are places where, like, even here, because I could make the obvious, like, don't go to the shady place in Detroit. Like, don't go to the shady restaurant in the Bronx. No, go to the one that's established.
Right.
You know, like, no. Like, there are some places where you don't trust that shit.
Hang on. Basement is all I will with a $5. Watch. The Basement's going to walk down the ramp like WCW NWO Revenge, but, like, with a medium pie eating on his way to our match.
Two comments on the Basement $5 medium pie, alright? 2 comments.
Mm-hmm.
1. Yes, you got a medium pie for $5.
Buenas noches, Dujan69, a.k.a. Dugan Nash, a.k.a.
Dujan had to leave. Yes, you got a pie for $5, but 2 things. 1, I would rather pay $5 for a good slice of pizza than $5 for a whole pie. And there are 2 reasons. The quality and the taste, which I would put as 1, and the fact that there is an obesity epidemic happening. I would argue a pandemic, because it's in other countries now. And it's a lot to do with the fact that you can be like, $5 for a whole pizza? What a steal! You just ate your entire day's worth of calories for lunch.
Oh, it's all too easy. Where, like, I could be hanging out.
Oh yeah, I know you don't, Basement, but I'm just saying, for people who are just like, but it's cheap and a lot of food, this is why you're fat. Because you're prioritizing how much you spend and how much you get for that money, rather than the quality of your food and how filling it is.
With my luck, if I went into a cheap Chinese buffet, I'd get shanghaied into making NVIDIA graphic cards. And, like, the keyless.
No one's making NVIDIA
you're like
graphics cards,
you're like
man.
soldering things, like your ankle tied to the chain to the wall. You gotta go pee pee and poo poo in a bucket.
Quality of food is more important than quantity.
Well,
high quality food is more filling.
Especially when you're dealing with something like dairy. Well, like, I mean, like, in fact, like, you know what irks me about, like, you go to, like, sometimes not just delis, but even, like, supermarkets, even, like, ones nearby, and you could go pick up the pasteurized American cheese things, and sometimes you look on the back and it's like, there's 0 fucking calcium in this. This is just, like, matter with calories.
Synthetic, food.
Like, this isn't even. No, this is paste cut out of a Play-Doh thing in the form of cheese. This is just matter. This is not.
Yeah.
And, like, if you go to the deli and you got a pound of American cheese, and you take that thing and you bring them home, and you take, like, a Bunsen burner or something, or like a grill lighter, and you take that to the American cheese you got from the deli, it's gonna melt.
Yeah.
Because it's cheese.
The synthetic stuff burns.
It looks like plastic when you burn, because it, like, implodes on itself while burning upward. So yeah, my favorite soda is Fanta. All right.
Your favorite soda?
Only because it's all the flavors I want, and if I could get them outside America, even better, because it's got actual, like, cane sugar.
I could see that. I would still say
it's got root beer, cola, pineapple, strawberry.
Yeah, I don't know. I would still say Coca-Cola Classic. It's probably my favorite soda.
You heard it here first. Oh, one of these days, we should totally go to the Coca-Cola place in Atlanta and taste all the Coca-Colas from around the world. That would be pretty awesome. Cat Girl's Milk is, what's your favorite Fanta flavor?
Strawberry is the best flavor.
Honestly, strawberry. I mean, like, granted, like if it's, like, overseas Fanta, which is absolutely fantastic, I'll take any flavor. It don't matter. But whether it's root beer, pineapple, the cola, although, you know, strawberry.
I had an orange. I had to get
orange. All right,
because I was in a rush because of all the nonsense at work, and I was grabbing fast food, and I was like, I just gotta get something, and I wanted something without caffeine, and Fanta was the only option, and I went for the strawberry, and it wasn't working, so I was like, okay, I'll take the fucking orange, and I took one sip and threw it out.
Really?
Yeah, the orange Fanta tastes like shit.
All right. Well, I mean, that was then, and this is now, and I'm not even going to defend Fanta anymore. You just have to rescue the Fanta girls from the Fanta Ranch.
Yeah,
It's
Pina
on you.
Colada's Fanta is pretty good too. I wish Fanta made more flavors.
That is, the pina colada is kind of.
I don't even
but
know.
you can't
I mean,
find
like,
it everywhere.
you know what? Like while we're
Oh, well, on random note, hey, ladies and jerks, is it possible to get Tropical Fantasy in your neck of the woods? Because
do those
Tropical
still exist?
Listen, once upon a time, there used to be this soda called Tropical Fantasy, and you only used to get it in like straight up stores in the hood. You couldn't find it in regular supermarkets. You had to go to like bodegas and like kind of shady parts of the. Anyways, Tropical Fantasy was one of those things where like you only found in places that exclusively sold Newports and beef patties.
Okay, so here's what I would say: strawberry,
Mm-hmm.
the pina colada, and the berry flavored Fanta are all really good.
That's right, basement.
I've never seen fruit punch Fanta, or peach for that matter, but apparently
Really?
they exist. Peach and fruit punch exist. I've never seen them. I've had the Fanta berry. I've had the pina colada. I've had the strawberry. Those are all good. Pineapple's okay. I think it's below. I think grape and orange taste terrible.
All right. I'll stop busting your balls.
Wait, what are you meaning us about? What'd you say? What did we say?
I need to know about this peach.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it was a thing. Apparently, it's on their flavor list.
Kuwaiti Coca-Cola is pretty good. Hey, Wild Goose Live, can you explain like what made it? Like, I mean, what?
There's a peach Fanta.
Fucking Kuwaiti Coca-Cola, like that's all right. Listen, Buster, if you're just like you just opening up a text of like, here are things I can write a 28-page short story on. Kuwaiti Coca-Cola, take that, you masked jerk from Queens, as you sit with your
Apparently
boots on the porch of whatever countryside Texan humble abode you have that is sitting above an abandoned nuclear silo that you have fashioned into the Goose Mansion. I don't know this.
Some of these overseas flavors are amazing.
That's the fucking point. You see that?
Apple and sour cherry Fanta. Raspberry passion fruit.
Remember when I said overseas Fanta?
Why am I getting robbed with grape and orange?
Because sometimes, not all the time, USA #1. No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
because the U.S. has hoods. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe if we can get the gentrified people to start asking for the raspberry passion fruit, I can try it.
Start having gentrifiers be like, I want my Tropical Fantasy.
I want good Fanta.
Damn, I do live in the hood then, because my bodega has Rap Snacks too.
I've also never seen Rap Snacks in person. And I've been to like hoods. I still have not seen. I have to pass through.
Kool-Aider has his thumbs on the pulse of society.
I've looked for Rap Snacks. I fucking pass through the hood all the time, like going to work. I can't find them. I don't see Tropical Fantasy either. Like they don't exist anymore around me. Granted, I probably wouldn't buy them, but like I don't see them anymore.
So, question.
I don't even see Quarter Water.
There's really.
I don't see Quarter Water anymore.
I haven't seen Quarter Water in mad long either.
Speaking of which, where are you? I have Quarter Water, baby.
Ooh, yes. Where's that from?
This is a GIF on the internet.
Excellent.
Can't find me no Quarter Water.
So, what else are today's topics?
Well, that depends. We can save the end of the quarantine for later.
Right. We covered soda.
Well, breakfast and webcomics.
Breakfast and webcomics. All right.
Breakfast I got takes on. Webcomics I haven't read in years.
Now, breakfast, I'm going to step away for one moment. I would like to discuss breakfast really quickly. I want to hear... Wait, am I away from the clutches of the... Yes, I am. I am away from the clutches of the camera.
Yes, Haynes has to take mask breaks because of the surgery. His face is all busted. Not really, but it's a little swollen.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was when I got out from the fucking agua. Yo me quiero agua.
Just don't leave Thor, that's all. Here, we'll do you one better. We'll move you a little bit over.
So
what about breakfast? Was the question that inspired this?
Oh, okay. So this is a question.
Wild Goose Live. Eggs are responsible for most of my plumbing issues.
Ooh, really? Are you lactose intolerant? Let us know, Wild Goose Live. Also, okay, really quick question to Basement. So even though you're lactose intolerant, if you go to a diner and you get an omelet, what kind of fucking omelet you getting? Also, are you getting bacon or sausage? What kind of fucking bread do you get? Do you just get white bread? Do you get rye bread? I get rye bread whenever I go to a diner. So here's the point of breakfast, all right?
Okay.
So there are two kinds of breakfast, in my opinion. One is where, like, all right, this is for fuel and this is for sustenance, you know. Like, this is for fuel, this is for sustenance, and you have to go about your day. Or two, sometimes, like, if you go out for breakfast,
Yeah.
like, that's a whole different story. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Also, going out for breakfast can range from stuffing your fucking face at an IHOP to having a pastry and a cup of coffee somewhere. Dry white toast. Oh, so not Kool-Aider is evidently fucking Jake Elwood here. All right there, buddy. Hey, Kool-Aider, how tall are you? I'm curious. Because Kool-Aider wears a size 38 shoe. Ask him about it. It's kind of wild.
Well, if we're talking about like ideal breakfasts, right?
So there's sustenance breakfast,
Yeah.
and then there's like I'm going out to eat, and that ranges from like, or I mean, I'm sure you could make it at home, like fucking cooking eggs in bacon fat and eating it with pancakes and like,
Well, how
you
about
know what
this?
I mean?
I'll start with my normal breakfast,
Uh-huh.
and chat can jump in with their breakfast of choice. My at-home breakfast recently has been 2 hard-boiled eggs,
Mhm.
a yogurt, varying varieties. I think I'm on Chobani right now because Costco had a big old Chobani box, and it was like, fuck it. 2 eggs, hard-boiled, Chobani.
Jump on it. Jump on it.
Typically a grain of some sort, and that varies between either homemade bread, and if I didn't make bread this week, then some kind of like whole grain wheat toast.
Ah.
Um, if I have the toast, it's either getting ricotta or cottage cheese on it.
Okay.
If I don't have toast, it might be oats, which will also get the ricotta or the cottage cheese. Or I'll have granola with nuts. That's the at-home breakfast.
No fruits, I notice.
It depends on if I picked up any, but typically no. Because I get enough
Reason why?
carbs from like the grain source. I don't need sugar.
All right. Okay. Okay.
You know, between like the carbs that are naturally in either the bread, the oats, the granola itself, it's fine. If I feel like I need more carbs throughout the day, because like I know I'm gonna have carbs for lunch anyway. If I go out though, talking about diner stuff, I usually get like the platters, and then it's home fries, whole wheat toast with butter, eggs sunny side up so I can dip my toast in the yolk,
Oh yes.
and then just salt and pepper them eggs to eat them. And I'm kind of fond of sausage, and I prefer breakfast sausage over anything else. And if it's not shitty microwave breakfast sausage, like more power to you. And
Now, are you adverse to the sausages that are cut like a circle because it was an actual
No,
like
I don't
big plump sausage?
I just prefer
or
sausage.
even like the small wiener, like size of like my ring finger sausages.
As long as it's not microwave sausage, I'm good. But I prefer sausage over bacon or ham.
Kool-Aider, Jimmy Dean's. You got another brand that you like if you're getting sausage for home consumption. Also, ladies and jerks, I appreciate you chiming in for the breakfast question. Kool-Aider 6'5", he's lying. He's actually 6'7". My normal breakfast is pain and agony.
And if I'm on the move,
4-can flush with a bucket of golf.
if I'm on the move,
IBS, I'm sorry to hear about that, cat girl's milk.
if I'm on the move, Dunkin' Donuts, Power Breakfast Sandwich, which is egg whites with veggies, with I think it's cheddar,
Yeah.
and a slice of turkey sausage on a whole grain like flatbreads.
Mhm.
Careful with that leaning forward.
Oh, wait.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hey, I didn't finish my beer. Hold on.
Oh, did you not?
No, my bad.
I believe this is you.
Thank you. I mean, my root beer.
If not the
My
Power
root
Breakfast,
beer.
I get avocado toast from Dunkin' as well because they make pretty good avocado toast. Also, there's always coffee. Always coffee. Tea if I'm with someone who makes good tea.
Can you hear me out? I mean, help me out. I'm sorry. I can't read what I'm a little leaning back here. What did people chime in for their breakfast?
So, from where I'm seeing it, basement says work breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese, classic in New York.
Oh yes.
And home breakfast is saltfish and ackee. I hope I'm saying that right.
What is ackee? Excuse my ignorance.
Wild
basement.
Goose Live, eggs, but when you lump cheese and peppers and Tabasco, it's just a mess. Honestly, I like ketchup on eggs, but I put ketchup on a lot of stuff, so
Okay.
I'm an absolute monster. The ketchup goes on everything.
All right.
Dangerous is crackers with yogurt. Cat girl's milk. Eggs should always involve cheese. I can give you that, but like from a fitness perspective, I just force feed myself eggs sometimes, and I hate it, but they're necessary because they're a good protein source.
Right.
Let's see. Wild Goose, I dump pepper on my eggs, not so much for taste, but for texture. That's weird, but I'll let you get away with it. I don't want sandy eggs. Kool-Aid usually get sausage links over bacon. Gotta have the casings though. Yeah, none of that. See that? Yeah, 100%. Wild Goose Live, Dietz and Watson makes good fresh sausage.
All right. Good looks, dude.
Fresh as in non-frozen. You buy them like hot dogs. Yeah. Hard-boiled eggs are the exception. Yeah, I mean, I basically only eat at home. I only eat hard-boiled eggs because I'm too lazy to cook eggs.
Yeah.
And like as you could imagine, like from my breakfast, it's like, oh yeah.
But they're the healthiest way to eat eggs, aren't they? Like.
I mean, you're eating a whole egg regardless. It's just like I can hard boil a whole fucking thing of eggs, and then for breakfast, I'm taking 2 of those out. I'm taking a yogurt. I'm taking a slice of bread. I'm putting something on it. The oats, I'm just putting something in it. Like all of my there's no preparation to my breakfast. It's just combine things and then eat them.
I got you.
Because it's the same way. Like I don't really make lunch. I will sit down on a Sunday and then just be like, let's go buy like pounds of chicken and a bunch of broccoli and then some like brown rice, quinoa, pasta, whatever I'm gonna have for that, and just make it in bulk and put it in containers, and it's like you have lunch for the week. Dinner is the only thing where I'm willing to cook because I have time to cook dinner.
Right, I got you.
And my go-to dinner is just fucking steak and potatoes.
Nice.
Or I order out because I'm lazy.
Mm.
It's just easier to order on the way. You know.
All right. Now, like, so when it comes to breakfast, like, when you indulge, you don't have a sweet tooth, do you?
Force feeding yourself eggs is a great breakfast choice for the man on the go. Yeah, ackee is a fruit, I think but it's a subs out eggs. Okay.
All right. Really quickly, what is the name of the way where they prepare the eggs? Where you get it in ramen, and like the eggs are like halfway, like the yolk is still gelatinous, but it's as if like they boiled an egg for 2 minutes in 6,000 degrees water.
Pretty sure it's soft boil.
Then
where the yolk stays.
And then they submerge it in ice water or something.
Well, that's just to cool it, yeah.
Like, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's soft boiled eggs, and I'm pretty sure ramen places, correct me if you know the proper term, I think they use fermented eggs. Because the eggs are always discolored from them being like soaked, so the egg white is seasoned because it goes through the shell.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they have like that brown color to them. And if you don't do it for long enough, they taste funky.
Oh.
But that's how you get those like browned eggs where the whites have soaked up the whatever they're sitting in. They're almost like pickled.
I got you. Okay. I didn't know that.
Tea eggs, apparently. I mean, maybe that's what Kool-Aid says. Tea eggs.
Oh, I thought you said pea eggs, which are actual a thing.
It is the thing, yeah. And then you soft boil them so they have the yolk in the middle, which is really just like you said when they get to the boiling process, because the whole idea is you leave the eggs in the water before it boils, bring it up to a boil, and I think it's like 7 minutes for a hard boil, and somewhere between like I think it's like 3 and 5 for a soft boil. So you still cook the egg white, but the yellows are still soft.
Right. One of the reasons I ask about breakfast is like fun fact. Did you know that there is an IHOP that is opening up like on the block between Ditmars and 31st?
Yep.
21st, excuse me.
There's an IHOP over here.
Which is crazy.
We're getting an IHOP and a Popeyes and a Target.
Because it's like that's although for all things considered, what else has been making money hand over fist since I mean, the end of lockdown perhaps, but the soft reset happened. Like
the only thing that's going to survive in this neighborhood is living space, apartments, things like that, and leisure activities like food and drink, and then like day-to-day shopping.
Right. Nothing
else survives this neighborhood. It has to be things that people use on a regular basis, which is why like Target's going to make a killing. IHOP may be the only thing where I'm like, the market in this neighborhood is mostly people going to grab food on the go.
Yeah.
we're going to brunch spots, and there's a lot of brunch spots in Astoria.
Right. And sometimes, there's this brunch spot that's over near where the old movie theater used to be, but now it's CBS.
Yeah.
And one block up further, like between 31st and 33rd, and they make homemade donuts with lard, and they only make a certain fixed amount. And when they sell out, they're done for the day. And that is one of a number of places.
Yeah.
Where and I hate to admit it, where it's like, yeah, I could make fun of Brooklyn all I want for having spots like that, but we have them too here in Queens. And I'm a little ashamed of that.
I'm not. It's expected. This is how New York is evolving. When you make a city built on the backbone of having money, you attract people with money, and now you're attracting young money, not just old money. IHOP is only going to survive because of what's left of the poorer communities in the area,
Yeah.
who can't afford to go out and eat like the nice $20 brunches every fucking day, and need like a cheap sit-down breakfast, but still have free time, and the elderly, who again,
I think you're being a little cynical, but I see where you're coming from.
because like I'm not gonna go to fucking IHOP. I'm gonna go to Mom's.
Right.
I'm gonna go to fucking Mojave and have like Spanish brunch.
Right, but here, but
because
here,
I'm a young person with money.
but herein lies the issue. All right, herein lies the issue. It is daunting, if not impossible, to treat economics and where you're like reducing people to rational consumers, because even for the fucking novelty of people who are ironically going to IHOP, they're still gonna go to IHOP, and for what it's worth, its biggest sell is like, and say what you will about the class-inducing factors about brunch, because they are true, right? Say what you will about that. IHOP is known for like, you're here for the fucking pancakes.
I don't like pancakes.
Well, there are plenty of. I bet you IHOP will be fine.
But I'm not saying it's gonna struggle.
But
IHOP's gonna be just fine, but they're gonna be treating mostly a demo like that. IHOP best be prepared for like old people and the lower class of the local neighborhood.
Right.
Because people who want nice brunches aren't going to IHOP. The younger, health conscious people aren't eating at fucking IHOP.
You're not wrong. I do have some pleasant memories at IHOP though.
Why are there Spider-Men in the streets? Because they're trying to make money. Those people walk around harassing people to take pictures with them, and it works on tourists and children.
Well, like one of the reasons. Well, I like IHOP partially because, like, listen.
I'm fixated on the cool later. I'm fixated on those Spider-Man dudes scanning for pictures in the background. Yeah. Because that's what they do. And they wear muscle suits so that they can look like they're actually in shape to be Spider-Man. It's weird. It like when you've seen it so often, it's so strange. Just walk by them. It's even weirder when they're wearing like full body suits, and every once in a while they pop the head up so they can fucking breathe and talk.
I like how they're competing Spider-Man.
Oh, they're probably all the homies. There's a Miles Morales Spider-Man. There's a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man down there. I'm sure there's a Tom Holland Spider-Man, because you got to cover your bases. You know, you got to get different groups.
There's probably a Venom down the block.
Probably. Like, let's be fair. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is, and thanks to current media, everyone's got a favorite Spider-Man. Like, Into the Spider-Verse made Miles Morales a household name now, so you got to have your Miles. But yeah, so I don't know.
You're not wrong.
And like you said, like people who I like the idea of like people who are going to eat at IHOP ironically. That's going to be a thing. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact I'm going to have people in my friend group being like, y'all want to go to IHOP? Why the fuck would I want to go to IHOP?
Snicker. There's one reason for it. All right.
They make mediocre breakfast food. What else?
Okay, there's one reason for that. If memory serves me correctly, does McDonald's still offer breakfast like only at a fixed time?
I have no idea. I haven't had McDonald's breakfast in a long time.
Hey, ladies and jerks that are in chat, I don't know if fast food places offer breakfast beyond the breakfast hours, but one of the draws for a place like IHOP is because sometimes you have people who spend all night and up into the breaking hours of the morning partying, and they can't get their shit together until noon, all right? But they want pancakes. So, like, IHOP is going to have to expect, like, let's say they open in the morning. Come, like, the noontime. If it's a Monday or, like, a Sunday, there are going to be people coming in disheveled, like Narc Elvis, but like they're coming in because like they wanted pancakes, and they're going to put a little bit of every of the 5 fucking syrups that they offer, because it's like the regular,
Yeah.
peach, caramel, blueberry, and another kind of berry. I think it's strawberry.
Yeah, I get it. The junk syrups.
They're gonna have to get used to that. And you know what? Because like, what place? I mean, Mike's Diner maybe like they'll make your pancakes at like fucking noon, right?
Mike's Diner makes breakfast all day,
Right. Then why the fuck wouldn't they go to? All right.
and they're 24-hour.
All right. So Monoxus, your argument holds weight then. Then why wouldn't they go to fucking Mike's
Because
Diner?
poor people.
Or Maz. Or Moms.
Because
or Tasties.
Because poor people and old people and people with children, I'll put them in there too, like IHOPs, because they attract that crowd.
Right.
Old folks like the atmosphere of an IHOP because it's got that like corporate feeling of like you must greet a certain way and there's a system to this and the menu is structured and easy to read. People with children like the fact that they have children's deals and things to color. And they're cheap. So, like, you can feed 3 kids and not have to worry about paying fucking $15 per meal. And then the poorer class, like, I'm sure there's a line where it's like, well, pancakes and a breakfast platter over at Mike's is going to run you like $10 to $12, depending on which one you get. And there's 3 of us, so it's like $40. And, like, you kind of got a tip because they're a mom and pop, like privately ran.
Right.
Like, this is an IHOP. Everything's $8 because it's like breakfast time and there's a special, so we're gonna be paying like $25 for the meal, and you can kind of give them a $3 tip and get the fuck out of there. And no one's gonna notice because it's an IHOP, if you tip at all, because it's like basically fast food breakfast.
Right, and on top of this,
it's cheap and it's for people who have a certain image.
2 things. 1, can you hook me up with some water, please?
Yeah.
2, all right. Then what kind of crowd does a Denny's attract?
The same crowd as an IHOP, possibly with more 3 a.m. drunk people.
All right, okay. I got the answer I was looking for.
You think IHOP's not going to have drunkards showing up?
Oh, look at you with your 1950s vernacular, drunkards.
I mean, it depends on how late they're open. Like, let's not fucking split hairs about this. Ditmars is, like, easily 40% places to eat, 40% bars, and then 20% places to buy things that are actual shops. You know what I mean? But there's a good 80% split between it's just, like, food and alcohol. If IHOP does a 24-hour thing, they're probably going to make a killing on people who leave the bars at fucking 3 in the morning, and all of the regular houred stores that are run by people who privately own those stores don't want to stay open. But you know what's going to be open? IHOP. Tasties will be there.
What about, is Mike's Diner still 24/7 or no?
I believe they are on certain days.
That's right, because not everyone is 7 days a week, right?
Yeah, some places have an adjustment.
Oh, you know who is 7 days a week? I believe 7-Eleven.
Yeah, but no one's like, oh, if you want like a snack, yeah, you go to 7-Eleven.
That, oh man.
But think about it like this, though. And again, from an atmosphere perspective, right? I don't mind Tasties. I know what I'm getting. It's cheap. It's junk food. And if you go to sit down in Tasties, you get diner aesthetic, right? Places like IHOP and Denny's, because they are corporate, they take the diner aesthetic, but then they turn the volume up on it with brighter colors, like a more consistent scheme. And like there's a marketing strategy behind
Fisher
it.
Price it.
Yeah. So
does that make sense?
When you compare it to something like Tasties or Mike's, like I have a preference for Mike's because I grew up in the area. But you got to remember, a story is being gentrified, and there's a lot of people coming into this neighborhood that aren't from the neighborhood.
Right.
So IHOP's going to make plenty off of people who go out to eat high-end quality foods, or people who end up getting corporate food because they recognize the aesthetic.
Right.
Like, you're not going to catch the brunch crowd going to IHOP unless it's 3 in the morning, they left the bar, and they're like, I kind of want, like, an avocado toast. And fucking, like, IHOP's going to have shitty avocado toast that they can get at 3 in the morning. And they're going to go, this looks okay. Versus looking at Tasties, where it's like half the staff is digging around watching a late-night sports game, the place is empty, and one of the lights don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the rest of the neighborhood is dead, where the IHOP's going to have big, bright lights, it's going to be comforting. Although IHOP's going to have to learn to start fending off all the homeless people who hang out around that time.
Oh, and because the library is closed, imagine they're like, is this the library? Sir, like, this is the 4th time today. Is the library open?
Hey, look at those bots. Wild Goose Lad, I'm losing track of the drinks. You guys are sucking between coffee, water, and Jamaican soda. Well, he had coffee earlier. I've been drinking the Jamaican soda, and I'm drinking seltzer now to stay hydrated.
So now I'm drinking
Crucial
water
Pain, don't make me
out of the coffee cup that
Don't-
came with the thermos.
don't make me ban you like you're a bot. Banned. Banned.
So, ladies.
What do you think? Crucial Pain copy and pasted the bot thing?
No,
Should
all right,
Should I
but-
ban Crucial Pain?
No, Crucial Pain is just busting balls.
So I should ban Crucial Pain.
No, don't ban Crucial Pain.
But Crucial Pain's being a jerk.
Oh, because like he's 2.4% Balkan, so he's got to play it up like Identity Crisis like and dance on a Bosnian's grave and wear a tracksuit and drive an ATV through the wall of a Bosnian wedding. Want to become famous? Buy fertilizer. Listen, Wild Goose Live is not telling you to buy ammonium nitrate, but he is going to put you in touch with a guy who knows a guy who may or may not know a guy who may or may not know a thing about ammonium nitrate. Is all I'm saying.
Go be talking about that stuff on stream.
Oh, fine. I'm not saying he's from Oklahoma, I'm not saying because, you know, you are from Tejas, so you have to fight Oklahoma. You see? You're trying to preemptively stop it by making it happen again. Want to become dead? Buy a gun. Hey, want to suffer? Exist. No, but Crucial Pain, you could go ahead and continue busting balls. Well, I mean, like, if you've seen Goodfellas, you're like Billy Bass, like, you're breaking your balls here. And then, like, Kool-Aid, if you're here, what are you getting, busting your balls? You get fucking fresh over here. Come on, we're gonna get to that eventually, alright? But, like, life gets in the way of a lot of things, and then, thankfully, things were able to fall into place. So we could be here and speak to you here, live at 718 TV headquarters. And if you're just tuning in here at twitch.tv/Monoxus, Wild Goose Live had redeemed the best 2 out of 3 rock, paper, scissors. Now, I am not going to break Kool-Aid's balls and say you are not recording the rock, paper, scissors continuum of the wins and the losses correctly, because it is best 1 out of 1 and then best 2 out of 3. Now, what the hell else just happened? Rock, paper, scissors, 1 round, cat, girls, milk, and then the hits just keep on coming, ladies and jerks. So, you see? Because he is. I will celebrate good times. Come on. You're all right there, Walter Sobchak Kool-Aider. Near the In-N-Out Burger? Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Thank you, Kool-Aider. So I would like to picture Monoxus slowly coming in with the power of 10 men kicking through a door. Hey, you hear that, Monoxus? Not only do we have best 2 out of 3 rock, paper, scissors, but we also have to do best 1 out of 1 rock, paper, scissors. All right. So, Kool-Aider, you're going to be getting your eat footage. Now that you're here, you too can partake in Monoxus enjoying these wings live on stream. All right? Now, first of all, we would like to thank you for the contingency of this thing that you have propped up and where you begin to carve Monoxus out of live footage. Now, yes, there is Times Square over my shoulder, but Monoxus is going to use his Hollywood voodoo on the back end of this machine.
It's literally just pulling the feed and getting rid of it.
So you can enjoy this footage. So, Kool-Aider, are you ready? No, well, we have to do the rock, paper, scissors first.
Sure.
All right. So
3 first or 1 first?
We got to do it in order. Best 2 out of 3. All right. Okay.
All right. On 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. All right.
All right.
And on 1, 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ooh.
All right. So, ladies and jerks, for Kool-Aider's amusement, Monoxus will have to pull the Times Square footage out from just under the.
What do you mean for Kool-Aider's amusement? I do this because I'm hungry.
Oh no, but you see, we have to get rid of the footage so Kool-Aider can make art. Here we go. So you see, hold on. Hey, Kool-Aider. While you're taking footage of this, all right? Is this back? Okay. Take footage of both of us, okay? Hold on. I'm just gonna be right here. Take footage of both of us.
You scooting around is messing up the camera's focus.
All right. So okay, Okay.
I don't know.
Here we go.
Why do you gotta make it weird?
Kool-Aider. Work with us. Hold on. There you go. Work with us, Kool-Aider. Work with us. Yeah.
You're making it weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, chat's in the way of your face. I can turn chat off.
All right. Can you turn chat off for a second?
I'm eating some wings. Relax.
You hear him licking his fingers like he's fucking Prussian royalty
What am I
over
gonna do?
here.
Touch the keyboard and the mouse with the fucking with my damn sauce hands?
All right.
Now I want wings.
All right. Now, come on. Here we go. Now, come on, Kool-Aider. Work your fucking black magic Florida voodoo.
Yeah, these are pretty good wings. I tried a new spot out today. They're not bad.
Did you get regular traditional flavor?
Mm-hmm. I also didn't know if they were gonna be spicy, so I was like, let's not do too much. What's up, John Woo? Haynes is hiding behind one of his flyers while I eat some wings with the green screen.
Yo, what's good, John Woo? We're just giving a Kool-Aider some fuel so he could make some abject internet art.
I don't know if they were frozen. They might have been. The post-pandemic, it's okay to be infected shirt. Yeah, that could be cool.
Listen, COVID season is going to be around forever. I think you struck a very powerful chord with that statement in terms of how they're perhaps if there's going to be like flu season and you get flu shots, what is to stop fucking COVID season and people getting COVID shots again and again? It writes itself, Monoxus.
Well.
All right, so Kool-Aider, are we good? How much more?
I think you're good.
Are we good?
I'll put the footage back up.
All right. Nice.
We'll see if that gets anything.
Nice. Thank you, Kool-Aider.
Chat, come back.
This summer, Kool-Aider's gonna bust Haynes out of gay baby Twitter jail.
I don't think you can get out of
no, you can't.
Gay Twitter jail.
Only if you appeal. But like even then, like
how can you appeal to those people? You know what I mean?
They give you at the very bottom of the screen.
No, I understand that you can click a button, but like
you have to type it out, and you have to
you
you
have to explain why they're babies.
Well, you could try.
And then they'll be like, wah.
You are baby, and baby, wah! Your account is suspended.
Someone's criticizing my worldview, and I can't stand that.
John Woo is tweeting what is happening in America right now. Gonna get drunk with white women and gay dudes. Gonna be sick. You'll love to see it. John Woo having the panopticon of everything that men who raised daughters in the Midwest. Like imagine some guy. He's like a farmer in Nebraska. And he was like a upright, righteous dude, and he tried to be a good living, example for like his community and family, and
John Woo.
And then his daughter goes to NYU, for art or like media studies or fucking whatever, and then she uploads pictures of her getting fucked up in Washington Square Park and protesting like on her Instagram, and he's like, I'm a choker when she comes home. Like that's happening right now.
Listen, John Woo. Are you smashing one of them white girls?
John Woo is
one of those gay dudes?
All right. So chat.
You're just hanging out.
Chat. I have a question. So, I had attempted to discuss this on MK Ultra Money's podcast, the Bad Film Cast, where all right, who is also the man behind women posting their L's. All right, one of the most powerful Twitter accounts in the universe. So on a premium only episode, all right. Him, Verse Laloon, and Jefferson Polland and we had discussed, what do you call it when people have a thing for let's say if a guy or a girl has a thing for Asian men or women, they've got yellow fever, all right?
Sure.
And if it's black people, it's jungle fever.
Yes.
So if it's Indians, it's curry craving. Haha, all right?
Okay.
Now, what do you call it for Latinos, and what do you call it for white people? So the obvious easy way out for Latinos, not all of them eat rice and beans. Any reference to Mayan or Olmec or Aztec is only a very
Should I
specific
be
thing.
funny or offensive?
I mean, either way, because the only bigger hurdle than this would have to be, yo, be safe, John Woo. You too, go get crunk, go nab a white woman. He will be like that scene in Blazing Saddles, where the white woman at, but it's the alternate ending. Watch out, John Woo's on the prowl. The hardest thing, hurdle after trying to figure out a name for like Latinos would have to be like whites, because what do you call it? The easy way out would be like racism, of course. But what do you call it? Like white delight, tundra fever?
Well, I was gonna say the easy way out for someone who's like, I like white people.
Mhm.
I would say you call them normal.
White delight, tundra fever.
And then that's the offensive one.
Calcium deficiency, normal. Oh.
Oh, you're attracted to white people, so you're normal. You know what?
And watch Monoxis get canceled off of Twitter in like 5 fucking hours.
Realistically.
More like 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say I don't really have like a single type. I think everyone has their attractive people, but I guess people do have like types.
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood that, but sure. I can only imagine like, I mean, racist, yeah. If you're like, I only date white women, like, you're kind of, what? Why?
Well, herein lies the deal.
What lies it? What's in your, like,
All
European fever? But, like, are all whites European? What if you date white trash from America?
What about like if they're like what if they're like an incredibly fair-skinned person from Latin America? Like sometimes if you watch on like Telemundo on like,
And I feel personally offended if we don't find a way to work taco into, because like that's the ultimate like racist version of it, just like taco something.
What, like taco fever? Like
I don't know. I don't know how to work it in myself, but I feel offended if we can't figure it out.
Taco fever, taco. Damn. You see how hard this is. So, but like for white people, you could take it in any number.
No, hold on. You call it Spanish flu.
Spanish flu. All right. I could settle on Spanish flu.
Yeah, why not?
It did murder more people than fucking World War I, I think, right?
Call it Spanish flu.
All right.
And
all right. But at the same time, Spanish it derives from Spain as opposed to all of Spain.
Whatever. And like, not every Asian person is yellow. But we call it yellow fever.
Ooh, Professor Monoxis has set precedent, and he is correct. So, Spanish flu. I think I could settle on Spanish flu.
White's kind of hard. You're right. Because you want it to be funny. Like, you don't want to be cheeky without just being racist.
Oh, you could just be straight up racist if you want.
Well, that's why I said normal first.
Okay.
Because I think it's funny that way. But realistically, like, because I like it's kind of easy to lean into like cracker as something, but I can't think of a fun play on words.
But even the old timey terms don't have the oomph like they used to, like Peckerwood. Yeah, no one even says
you can make
that
it
anymore.
Rhyme, I guess.
I would settle for a Chinese girl, though. Hey, Crucial Pain, you've been pitching that all fucking night. Yeah, I like her because she's pretty for a Chinese.
You kind of
like,
have to.
All right, you like the Chinese girls.
You kind of have
I
to.
mean, in all due respect,
though, right?
I
that's
think
the idea. Like, that's the joke.
In all due respect, well, that's not. You don't have to.
But that's like yellow fever.
Curry craving. That's just.
Well, I'm saying like you should probably lean into the disease.
Jungle fever. All right.
Like cracker craving.
Just don't want to pick the piano flavor.
Like,
piano lessons.
As far as like food thing goes, like cracker craving, taco tingle, basement's onto something. There.
Taco tingle. Ooh.
If we're going with food based, hell yeah, those are good.
All right.
Disease wise, I think Spanish flu works.
All right. No. Basement came through like a fucking thief in the night in broad daylight, rolling a 20 like a fucking rogue. No, taco tingle. Damn. All right. That's like fucking throwing cherry bombs down toilets. All right. I like that. Taco tingle.
What's the white disease version?
Cracker craving. Well, all right, but
that's food based. What's the disease one? Is it a fever?
Calcium deficiency?
Is it a flu? But they like it though. You know what I'm saying?
Tundra fever. But that's not. That's a
snow. Snow could be good.
Snow. Snow.
Snow madness.
Snow. Frostbite.
Frostbite. Oh my
God!
God!
He got the frostbite.
He got the frostbite.
That's a black death.
Oh my God! I like frostbite.
Oh, contacts are relatively. All right, listen. Crucial Pain. Let's be honest. All right, so like even if you meet like a 1 in a million, like super mega hot ultra like woman with an actual womanly figure in China, good on you, because like 1 in a million, there's over 1,000 of them over there. But for real though, there are countries with a better like not busted to busted woman ratio. I would recommend Colombia.
Frostbite almost had me acting up at work. I see. Yeah, that shit's good. I'm gonna start using that.
Hell yeah, basement. Frostbite.
When someone's just like only the white girl, that man's got the frostbite.
Frostbite. All right. So first of all, if you don't like taco tingle, you could settle on Spanish flu. But
Spanish flu is good too.
But I really love me some taco tingle.
Yeah, taco tingle's pretty solid. Except someone's gonna take offense to that too.
Oh, I welcome it.
Mostly because,
welcome it.
Especially if you aim it at like Spanish women or like Hispanic women. Taco tingle. Like, nah, now you've got like sexual like innuendo being slipped in there as well.
Well, I mean, they are Latino.
That's what I'm like.
That's the point.
But like
That's...
now it's like it's not just a now it's like a straight up sexual
works.
innuendo.
It works.
It's on multiple levels.
Because
someone's gonna get mad at that.
But that's because Basement's a fucking genius.
He's a savage.
Listen. Got the frostbite.
Got the frostbite. I like frostbite.
Oh man. Where the frostbite at? All right.
Oh, yeah, I gotta check Twitter because
I would like to see what...
Femboy Hooters.
Oh, you magnificent son of a bitch. That's so good.
Oh, I need to download that.
Ladies and jerk, if you could, I don't know if you could see this. There you go. So you could thank Kool-Aider. Muchas gracias. Amazing. Thank you, man.
Changed. All right, camera, focus. Fucking femboy Hooters.
All right, you win this round, Kool-Aider.
I'm loving this little game of eating in front of the green screen. It's fantastic.
So,
where the hell were we? Breakfast?
I just wanted to chime in on breakfast really quickly. Well, I mean, because I had got the answers I had wanted, and you know, I was very curious on what other people like wanted out of breakfast. I mean, evidently you don't have a sweet tooth when it comes to breakfast.
No, I don't have a sweet tooth in general.
Okay.
I don't like sweet things.
Really?
No.
But would you fuck a man up over some beef jerky?
Depends on the jerky. A lot of the jerky sucks.
It's good jerky from Vermont.
Maybe.
All right. So
I guess like the sweetest thing that I eat on a regular basis is, if you count diet sodas, because I have Diet Coke pretty often.
Okay.
It's kind of sweet. It's artificial, but it's sweet. And yogurt. It's got fruit in it.
You mean you put fruit in the yogurt, or it already comes with the fruit?
It either comes with... I try not to get the ones that come with fruit, because I don't actually like fruit in my yogurt. But if it's cheap, I get it.
Where does pork roll rank for you guys in the breakfast meats pantheon? Pork roll? Pork roll? I don't think I've had pork roll. Does that make me an uncultured slob?
It sounds like it's
Pork
something that
roll?
we don't do over here.
I'm very sorry, Kool-Aider. You're going to have to excuse Monoxus and I. Pork roll. Excuse me, my good man, but what is a pork roll?
I'm going to look up that specifically, because maybe we call it something different here.
I'm very sorry, Kool-Aider, pero no me entiendo qué está diciendo aquí.
Feel free to explain it, but I'm assuming it's just...
I think they call it Taylor ham in your backwards land.
A ham, egg, and cheese?
No. He says, I think they call it Taylor ham.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Taylor.
Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. So it's a sandwich. Am I getting that correct? It's a fucking sandwich? Taylor ham? I've never heard of this. I've honestly never heard of it.
Here we go. Taylor ham? Taylor ham. Taylor ham. Pork roll is the meat.
Yeah, it's like a processed meat. Why does it look like Spam?
They showed like 4 slabs of it between a Kaiser roll.
It's a processed pork
Is that how
product
you're supposed to eat it, Kool-Aider?
in the same family as Spam. It's delivered in loaves like domestic bologna.
I've never had Taylor ham, so I'm very sorry, Kool-Aider.
So, it's kind of like Spam,
Mm-hmm.
and it's served on an egg and cheese sandwich. Similar to how over here you get nothing but bacon, egg, and cheeses, basically.
All right.
Although I'm more partial to a turkey, egg, and cheese myself.
Okay. Well,
I've never had it though, so I can't properly chime in on it. I would love to try it because I like me some Spam. But I like Spam in like rice balls
okay, okay.
because that shit's delicious.
Well, you could kind of like saute Spam and add things to it, though, too.
Oh yeah, I mean you could also just make rice and Spam.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And it's tasty as fuck. Maybe some yellow onions, hot sauce.
That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm very sorry, Kool-Aider. Although if you order us to eat pork roll, we would like to do how about this, Kool-Aider? Your mission.
We can definitely just head to Jersey and get pork roll. Like it's not too far away.
Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is you have to find pork roll and fucking eat it and review it, and then we're gonna make a review out of your review. All right. Worth trying though. It's really good. Don't really taste like Spam at all. All right. Now you have me kind of sold here.
Well, if it tastes like more like pork, I'm in. I imagine it's similar to like I don't know. I'm imagining a patty like the sausage we get here. Like you know, like that fucking like weird flattened processed sausage patty junk they sell here.
Yeah.
But like more pork flavored than I don't know mystery meat sausage patty. That's what I'm imagining.
Okay. I have pork roll in my refrigerator. Oh god damn! All right, so I would like to do a reviewing reviews. Kool-Aider is going to eat some pork roll, and then we're gonna have to eat some pork roll, and we're gonna have to see if this guy's like fucking crazy or not, and why you won't let him wrestle you and try to get a chance at the good ending.
What kind of pork roll is is there like a brand you recommend?
Please let us know, Kool-Aider. We would like to know. I would like to know very much, actually.
Because like you can get pork roll on Amazon, boy.
Well, Kool-Aider is slowly working his way into the machinations of, here we go. Taylor is the brand I buy usually. All right there, Kool-Aider, you 7 foot tall, made out of concrete, irradiated living thing in Central Florida. Only kind I can get down in Florida. The Stone Man echoed. So,
I'm gonna find me some pork roll.
I just wanted to chime in really quickly about
yeah,
breakfast. So under most circumstances, I really like to get just bacon and eggs on toast. I really like that. I
not
like
bad. Yeah, it's a solid breakfast.
Sometimes like a butt with, because it comes with the home fries.
Yeah.
And when I'm feeling fancy, I like to order a side of corned beef hash.
You know what I don't like? Home fries.
You don't like home fries?
No.
What do you usually get in French fries? Not
many places substitute them, but I just pick at them and then usually don't finish them because they're kind of buns.
Right.
I don't know. I don't like them.
I mean, I could do without them, but they're there.
Oh, I found it. I found it, Kool-Aider. Trust me. I got the pork roll ready. So now it's just the process of getting it.
So Kool-Aider, you're gonna have to like conceal yourself or do something, and you're gonna have to review this thing, and then we're gonna make a review of your review. All right?
Potentially, yeah.
I would really like to do this.
Yeah.
Because it turns out Kool-Aider is actually like a 14 foot tall, made out of quivering quantum mechanic concrete, who doesn't even need to sustain himself, and he's just entertaining himself by fucking with mere mortals like you and I. I'd like to believe so.
I don't think so.
Because listen.
I think he's a guy. But
wearing size 96 shoes.
I'm more than happy to watch this man eat pork roll.
I really want to know what it tastes like,
and then watch the critique, and then not judge the actual, flavor of the pork roll in general, but just criticize the review of the pork roll, having no information.
He's probably gonna nitpick and be like, "Look at him talking between bites."
Maybe. If you're in the middle of a review, yeah. Why would you do that?
Okay, fair enough.
Critique the editing, if there is any.
Look at how terrible the lighting is.
Yeah, that's the point, right?
He's gonna give you the film school treatment. You just watch out, Kool-Aider.
Is that not the point?
So, deal. All right. So, one last thing, and again, like I'll get to the breakfast. Relax. Under most circumstances, like bacon and eggs, and the eggs I'm very fond and partial to sunny side up. I like wheat toast or rye toast, actually. Rye toast I'll take over any toast rye. Really like me my rye toast.
Rye toast is good. I don't think I have like a main toast preference, but
Corned beef hash.
I like my bread that I make.
Really? A side of corned beef hash. I will never say no to a side of corned beef hash. Every once in a while, you can get lucky, and depending on where you go, and some diners still do this. I like to imagine in places outside of New York, where rather than getting home fries, like they'll just fucking make you French fries because they can and I will.
Oh yeah, a lot of places.
Right.
They do French fries or home fries.
I've always wanted. All right, or you can have like the most magnificent of breakfasts sometimes: steak and eggs.
You know what? I'll give. Going back to like the IHOP Denny's shit, the one thing I'll give them, like a privately owned or just like a locally owned shop, usually doesn't like doing subs on things. I can go to an IHOP and be like, all right, I want this platter, you know, the eggs, the sausage, the toast, but I don't want the pancakes. Instead, I want like the fruit salad.
Right.
And I don't want the home fries. Give me like an extra, like give me a side of like, I don't know, ham. You know what I mean? And they'll almost always be like, that's fine. Because they, like, at least for them,
Okay.
everything is kind of in the same cost bracket, and it's just like, you get 5 things, pick 5 things. This is the sampler platter, but I could be like, none of this, give this instead.
Uh-huh.
And they're almost always going to be like, oh, you don't want pancakes? You'd rather just like a fruit salad? Easy, because then they just put a fucking bowl of fruit in front of you, and it's like, I don't gotta make pancakes now.
And charge you the same fucking thing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll give them that. They have the
All right.
the benefit of like, I can sub out the garbage for something I would prefer.
Okay. I mean,
As opposed to eating a stack of 20 pancakes.
however, I do have a sweet tooth, and for what it's worth, like, sure, you can get pancakes the size of your fucking head at like IHOP, but like
Going
they're
on
not.
Stink Gash, we're doing okay.
Stinkash, buenas noches. Gracias por tu presencia aquí hoy noche. If you're tuning in to twitch.tv/Monoxes, all right? We're wrapping up the discussion of breakfast and why I'm a fat ass. And honestly, like, I am never above eating something like pancakes or even waffles. Waffles are great because if you want to even double down and have an excuse to drink 40 gallons of coffee, you could just have waffles and put ice cream on top of it too.
That's
You
too
could-
much.
You could be a complete fucking slob.
That's too
You
much.
could eat to your heart's desire and then not even get diabetes. You get nowabetes.
That is too much.
There are
Also,
so many
Stink
things.
Gash, since you're just chiming in, we're well. He had surgery. I got a new job. We've been busy.
Yeah. So how about you? How have you been, Stinkash? Anyone had European flat pancakes and filled it with shit? No.
I swear to God, if a European flat pancake is a crepe.
Danger. If it's a crepe, you and I are gonna have to fight after Basement and I are done fighting in the Seatown parking lot. All right. We got words. If it's just a fucking crepe.
Because if it's a crepe, I've had crepes, goddammit.
All right.
Crepes are pretty common. Those look like crepes!
Kind of looking like crepes there.
Are they crepes? Because, yeah, I've had crepes.
All right.
And
Danger.
much like the sweet tooth argument, I don't like breakfast crepes because they're always filled with fucking sweet things covered in syrups. I like savory lunch and dinner crepes,
Fair enough.
which I still eat garbage versions of, but I prefer them. But I don't like when it's sweet because that just I don't understand the attraction to sweet tasting things. Small amounts, you know what I mean? Like a little
Says Queen Sex Man, who's in such good shape he could grate cheese on his abs for like a party trick.
No, I just like I understand craving something sweet and having like a small amount of it, but when people are like, "I'm gonna eat an ice cream sundae for dessert," it's like, no. You go out with someone and then it's like, "You want dessert?" It's like, let's get a thing of ice cream
Okay.
and like pick at it and split it, maybe.
But I mean,
Real hero, real human being. Indian savory crepes are fantastic.
really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Savory crepes are better than sweet crepes. Fight me.
Indian savory crepes. A real hero. Gracias por tu presencia aquí en Buenas noches. Everyone, each and every single one of you, thank you for coming on down. As we beat these topics to death, bury them, dance on them, throw a party over it, and then like fucking dig them back open. And then we fucking do some mariachi dancing, maybe some tango. Monoxis uses them to lift weights. Then we put them back in the ground. So one last note in terms of breakfast. All right.
Eat your breakfast. It's important.
So I'm really fond of things that I could have with coffee for breakfast because, of course, I mean, I'm never gonna say no to coffee in the second place.
So then you don't like, but you don't fuck with like crackers and like biscuits.
Well, sometimes, but I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna be getting carbohydrates, I mean, like, like.
I'm just saying, like a coffee cake with coffee.
I'm not. Well, that's something you have with someone. Like, I am more prone and open to that if I'm with someone and they're like, "You want to go out for breakfast," as opposed to like waking up and it's like, okay, like, how about we, like, oatmeal
Yeah,
with mixed nuts.
sure.
And yogurt is kind of an unbeatable, like, or like whole milk, but I know whole milk isn't as healthy as yogurt. But outside of that, I don't know. Like, where do you rate on the scale of 1 to 10? Like, a blend of fruits and vegetables to drink in the morning for breakfast.
Like a smoothie?
Yes.
Like, do I think it's a good breakfast?
Would you advise it? Or would you strike it down and say that it is unhealthy?
No, I think like fruit for breakfast is fine. It's not balanced.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
just-
but it is like beets, celery, carrots, blueberry, apple, banana.
Oh, like a fruit, like a full mix. Oh yeah, why not? As long as they're not adding shit to it.
Okay. No, just and water.
'Cause I've
You're
seen-
only adding water.
Yeah, because I've seen like at least stores where it's like here are the veggies and the fruits, and maybe you get some fucking like protein added into
Mhm.
it.
Oh no! We're not fucking with any of that.
No, I'm just like protein. I'm fine with, but then they top it off with like a juice.
And here's peanut butter, and like, or here's like, here's kale, and
No,
here's.
like those are all still fine. It's the juice additive that I don't understand.
All right.
Like you're making a smoothie. The whole point is like just use water and let the fucking flavors of the thing bind it. But I've seen people put juice in smoothies.
Okay.
It's like I don't know. Making a protein shake. I guess like you could add milk, but I've seen like the putting it in coffee, and I'm like no, like
Right, but that's well, I
it's
mean,
weird.
but then again, you don't have a sweet tooth, so who are you to judge? Huh?
Saying,
However,
yeah, don't add sugar to my drink.
if you live here in New York City and you
Yeah,
order
sugar to my
from,
drink, I'm gonna get upset.
if you live here in New York City and you order from Domino's, fight me, all right?
Oh, we're back on that.
I'll
No.
fight you anywhere in a cage match for charity. Just let me know. Hit me up.
Oh no.
Yes, that's right, basement. We're back on this bullshit. Well, I mean, smoothie. Well, I mean, but here's the thing: like, smoothies, they could either go the nutritional route, or you're drinking something that just tastes super sweet and sugary because smoothies. I don't know. Papaya juice and a hot dog is the only breakfast I need. Damn, Kool-Aider. Kool-Aider could live off of Gray's papaya.
I don't know if I would enjoy that, but for breakfast,
Papaya juice? I don't know. Papayas are papain. Ah.
oh no, the juice is fine. It's the hot dog for breakfast I wouldn't do.
Hmm.
Not that I have an issue with hot dogs, but for breakfast, it just I don't know.
What if it was like a hot dog with veggies?
It still feels like a lunch food. Also, I'm probably not gonna have just one, so again, it's a lot early on in the day. I like my breakfast to be a little light.
Okay.
Protein heavy. Start the day off good.
All right. In the event that I can go to a diner, like if I'm with someone, I'll be more inclined to be like, all right, like usually you're fucking taking someone out, so it's like, you know what, like I'm gonna eat the fucking bullshit I know I shouldn't be eating because I gotta take this fucking bitch out,
Okay.
So it's like, you know what, fine, like I'm gonna have waffles, like fuck this, and I'm gonna get eggs and bacon on the waffles, all right? Like don't like come at me.
I don't know. I've always enjoyed the idea of like, let's go out to brunch, and then you sit down and it's like, all right, what is this person gonna order? And then you have your moment of like looking at it. Oh, this looks good. Oh, that looks good. Oh, this looks
And
good.
it's like, oh, is it gonna be champagne and fucking cantaloupe? Oh,
oh
of
no,
course.
no. And then they're the ones who are doing the whole like, I'm gonna, it's brunch, so I'm gonna have something heavy. And then when the waiter comes around and it's like, no, I'll just have like the avocado toast, please, or like just the steak and eggs. And it's like, oh, you're not gonna get like that. And it's like, no, just because we're having like a meal doesn't mean you should just indulge in shit.
It's $80 more, and it's got champagne and cantaloupe, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh, look, this one's got ice cream on it. Yeah, it's fucking 10 in the morning, and you're eating ice cream.
But
Are you a fucking child?
you know what? No. How about this, Monoxus? Okay, that is a perfect example of how, for the most part, growing up is a myth. Life experience and maturity is what counts. I mean, if you want to see people perpetuate their childhood or adolescence, then Monoxus will go to a diner and watch people put ice cream on their waffles and scoff at them, and then do burpees outside and call them fat before he runs because they call the cops.
Why would I even call them fat? These people mean little to me. But it's still like, really, ice cream for breakfast? It's like,
He does it
hold
every
on.
Wednesday.
Ready? Like, I mean, I don't know if anyone in chat is gonna get upset by this, but like, it's like people who still eat sugary cereal for breakfast. Why?
Guilty pleasure.
Just eat something better.
I mean, what if no? But what if they no? Some people know better and don't do better.
Right, but you're starting your day with the equivalent amount of sugar that's in a soda by eating it.
Oh,
You might as well just eat a bowl of sugar. It's almost the same. If you were to like measure it out, you can just eat a bowl of sugar and get the same calories.
Go the Michael Scott treatment where it's just cream and sugar.
Just eat your fucking sugar bowl.
Salmon on sourdough rye is solid for breakfast. Wow, that sounds kind of hardcore. I took that personally. Damn, basement. Listen.
Salmon on sourdough, like lox salmon, because I like lox on on toast as well.
Oh, lox on a bagel with cream cheese toasted is kind of an unbeatable act. But
Lox is just amazing for breakfast.
Well, and you could put it in an omelet.
You can put it on anything.
If
If you like lox, it pretty much just goes like any other breakfast food, I guess, with the exception of another meat.
You could be a
Throw
disgusting.
lox on it.
You could be a disgusting piece of shit and just eat it with like potato chips.
Eggs,
Like-
lox, toast, lox.
You could just eat it with like tortilla chips. You could eat it with pita chips.
You know, you probably couldn't eat it with gross sweet cereal
All right, that's kind
or
of
ice
given.
cream
That's okay, but now that's like now you're being a
or like
sadist.
pancakes. So all these things that you
In a
probably
smoothie?
like, things that probably like, if lox doesn't go good with it,
You want to have
it might not be a breakfast item.
you want to have a lox smoothie?
It might be treats. Oh god, just like lox and like a lox and kale smoothie.
Take the 2,000 calorie pill. Oh no. Well, wait. Listen. I don't know how much of Crucial Pain's alcoholic intake consists of his daily caloric intake. For all I know, he doesn't eat for 4 days, so he could drink gin for 2 days straight and then just drive across state lines, breaking hearts,
Hold on. Here's the thing, though. In terms of like,
being pulled over for speeding faster than there's
a key problem with the idea of a nutrition pill.
And this guy, for what it's worth, like he's a better stuntman driver than the jerk they had on the Dukes of Hazzard, Crucial Pain. And on top of this, listen, let me tell you about Crucial Pain, okay? Crucial Pain out there getting more head than a fucking guillotine, hitting up bitches on fucking TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, just one after another. He's like, it's a compulsion, I can't help it. As he's just fucking like driving 107 miles an hour on the wrong side of the road so he could fucking like use some woman he met on Tinder as a condom to fuck another woman he met on OkCupid. So as you were saying before,
The nutrition pill gag.
Mhm.
Like, let me just take a pill that's all my calories in the day. First of all, if it's not slow release, you're gonna just be full when you take it.
so the itis pill.
No, it would just be a 2K calorie pill that your body now has to process improperly and turn into waste because you just consumed 2,000 calories in a pill
So do you just
that's
like?
not spread out throughout the day.
So do you just like take the pill and then like you shit out like 11 loaves like a horse? What
You
happens?
probably would feel sick. I imagine the pill would also be incredibly dense, because it would probably expand.
Kind of like the poop in Futurama from Nibbler.
Yes, hyper dense. It'd be more realistic if it was like a 500 calorie pill,
Yeah.
and then it'd be very. I mean, they're still gonna be hard to swallow no matter what. But like, because consider like protein powder, right? Like a scoop of protein powder. We're talking about like a little standard serving size scoop. That usually averages between like 100 and 200 calories depending on what's in it, and that's a full scoop of powder.
Right.
Now to get like 500 of that, you need like 3 of those scoops, and now you have to swallow it all at once. Now, I'm sure you could condense that powder down pretty tight, but there's a limit to how much you can like condense it. So we're talking about like a 500 pill would be like, wow. It'd be more like a suppository, if anything.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
because it's not going down your throat. Alternatively, you could just eat food. Or you can blend your food
Alternative
into a
hey, Crucial
paste.
Pain, you jerk. Alternatively, you could just eat food, huh?
You could also blend food into thick pastes called smoothies. And if you balance it out right, you
Wow.
could live off of them.
Do you consider it halal or haram to put nuts in smoothies, like
Put whatever
walnuts,
you want,
almonds?
as long as it tastes good and doesn't make it like weird consistency.
What about lox?
I'm sure there's a way to make lox smoothie work.
Oh.
I guarantee it.
All right, so
That thinking like, should I eat it?
all right.
But yeah. Also, there's such a thing as like protein timing and things like that. Like you're not supposed to just get all your calories at once. Your body just can't process them.
One last thing.
You have to space it out.
Oh, quiet danger, advocating the Irish lifestyle. One last thing.
What do you mean? That's the Kevin Smith diet, isn't it?
Sometimes, if I have the
Just
opportunity
potatoes.
to order breakfast and it's like the afternoon or the evening, I like to do that once in a while. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it about breakfast. The end of quarantine.
Or webcomics.
Well, that's true. All right, so I'm not even sure if anyone listening or watching, either now or in whatever date and time that they come across this, but once upon a time there used to be this thing called webcomics.
There are still webcomics.
Right. There are a few that have, well, I mean, there are a few that have been around since forever.
Yes.
Although I'm not sure how many prominent ones are ones that started at like a later stage in their, or in the passage of time.
I don't follow a lot anymore. I used to read a lot more webcomics, but I also used to read a lot more comics and manga in general.
Okay.
And now I read books instead.
Uh-huh.
That's my reading. And occasionally I think webcomics pop up because of memes, like, what are they called? I just had it on my phone, I believe. Those fucking aliens, Strange Planet pops up a lot. Stone Tosses, I believe his name, comics pops up a lot. So like when it's in like a meme format somewhere or just being posted, because it's like, have you seen the new thing? And now it's like on like Reddit, and you're like, oh, okay.
I really think it's funny how Stone Toss has influenced artistic depiction to such a degree that there are even low rent, shitty, third-rate parodies of you think someone would not be posting that unironically or like ironically, but no, they firmly believe in like, hey, look at him, he threw out the landlord too, and it's like you're not, this doesn't work, and it's like 5,000 likes, 1,000 retweets, like even among what Stone Toss makes fun of, they attempt to take his art style and twist it and steal it as their own, but only serves as like within their circle, those numbers, and outside that ecosystem is like.
Oh well, yeah, that's the whole like we're claiming it as our own, because
it's like a circus within the circus.
Well, it's because like Stone Toss comics specifically aim to attack something. That's the design of them, like,
or to criticize something, or to
sure, but the criticism in the current era is taken as attack. Okay. Almost always, I see them and go, haha, I get it. Right. It's funny, and sometimes I go, haha, I'm gonna assume you made sense with this. I don't know. I don't have enough information on the subject matter, but it's still kind of funny. Like I think it was like the burgers one. I remember seeing that. Where it was like, it's like, and this is the new ad, and it's like a white and a black mouth kissing. And then like, it's like, okay, so how's this gonna help us sell burgers? It's like burgers. And then like, I think a couple of months later, there was a commercial for some company, and it was basically like two gay dudes like, buy the burger. And I remember watching it and being like, oh my god, this is actually it. And I was talking to someone, and I was like, do you see it? And she was just like, I don't get it. And I showed her the comic, and she's like, I still don't get it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you're not supposed to take that kind of comic literally. The point is that, like, eventually the ads will be more about the context of the social thing than the burger.
Even the CIA had an ad where it was like, as a woman of color, I joined the CIA. And
it was like, wait, what?
Every single... Hey, remember when John Cena apologized on behalf of America in perfect, like, Mandarin to
No,
China?
I don't remember that.
Well,
I
fun
don't
fact.
follow these things.
A couple days ago, John Cena, he apologized on behalf of America to China in perfect Mandarin.
But why?
Because Chinese money is a lot of money.
But what happened that there was an apology necessary from John Cena?
You should look it up for yourself.
What did John Cena do?
Nothing.
What did the Wrestling Federation do?
He just wants that Chinese money.
What did the movie do?
He's letting them know he's for sale.
Is that all it was? Let's see if it pops up immediately. John Cena, China.
Those Stone Toss remakes only signal boost his content. It's hilarious, right? He said Taiwan was a country. Oh, okay. Oh, so he was so that makes him anti-China. Oh, I'm sorry, my mind was made up about him, and I thought he was just like, he's talking about China. Fuck you. Taiwan was a country. China, listen, we know you want Taiwan, but it's not yours.
So he apologized because he said Taiwan was a country?
Oh, he apologized for saying that?
Is that what it was?
All right.
It was still an apology to the Chinese people, yeah.
Yeah. He's still a piece of shit. See, all right, I am vindicated in saying he's a piece of shit. That's all I'm saying. All right, thank you. I just wanted to clear this up.
I mean,
my initial claim still stands. So listen, ladies and gents. Once upon a time, there were a couple of webcomics I was particularly fond of. I don't know if this is a reference, if anyone would understand. Some of them were Neskimos. Let's see. 8-Bit Theater had that Final Fantasy webcomic that ran for like what seemed like forever. Elf Tour, that was a nice webcomic I liked. That's been around since forever. Purple Pussy. Gloom County. Yeah. And then there were like Web Rings and Angel Fire and like GeoCities.
Well, I remember all the stuff that came out of that, yeah.
And there were just so many fucking, and then and this was around the time like LiveJournal went live, if I'm not mistaken. This was like late '90s, early 2000s internet.
Yeah.
It was bizarre, and as all these things were happening, okay, that is enough of a reference for you to kind of draw off like a mental image here. Yet, consider, if you will, before 2006, YouTube was not around, so to watch videos on the internet, usually like you could only see this clip. Yeah. Or like, unless you downloaded something from like Kazaa.
Yeah, you had to torrent something and steal it.
Right. But no,
it wasn't really like streaming at all.
I sometimes wonder if like exactly how many people made a webcomic from the back in the day pre-YouTube era to the present and were able to make a career out of it, or even like a living. Because I imagine there's got to be at least like two, and I think one of them is either like Penny Arcade or Control Alt Delete. They've been around since like before 9/11.
I mean, I imagine.
I know Penny Arcade is.
If it was profitable, it was either because you have the site itself making money via ads for the webcomic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And enough traffic that you make money off of it, or someone buys you, and you get integrated into like a company appeal.
And now you're an intellectual property.
Yes. So now you make money because of the company, but you still continue to just make your fucking comic. Although all the webcomics I used to read, I fell off of.
Watch as Queen Sexman flexes his muscles and shows off his Pokemon tattoos.
I'm scratching my arm.
He's just gonna be like, the beach balls are this big.
But like, yeah, I don't really, like I said, I haven't read many. They come across my feed because of various, apps and whatnot. But I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about following webcomics, with the exception of the couple that I mentioned, where it's like. They almost now follow them to repost them. Like someone has a daily series or a weekly series, and the second that shit pops out, somebody that isn't them posted it to like Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything to try and get it in circulation and get them clicks.
Right, okay.
Although I would say, what was their name? Explosm, the stick figure guys?
Yes.
They, I believe, started as a webcomic series, and then like now they have like a YouTube channel where they make like shorts, and they have like a board game. So like they turn the webcomic into another into a property. and they have like T-shirts because like they became so well known through people being like, "Did you see the new comic today?" And then eventually it was like now everyone's feeding back into them and they're making more money, and then everyone goes, "Have you seen the thing today?"
Ah.
Because like you post a link to them and now they're there, and then everyone knows what they are. Hey, we have digital shorts. You go subscribe on YouTube. You like the comics in the YouTube? Buy the shirt.
I didn't know that they ended up branching out like that. Okay, so that is the answer to my question.
Swords Comics is pretty good. I've never heard.
Swords Comics.
I remember Least You Could Do.
Legacy of the Sword. I think that was one. Oh boy.
Yeah, I remember Least You Could Do. I remember Explosm. What was
There was a huge animation.
Homestar Runner was huge. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Homestar Runner was big. Oh, so was Homestuck, aka like Homosuck. Oh, wasn't Strong Bad a big thing?
Swords Comics in oh, I don't know. Is that maybe? I don't know. I know there's like a weird D&D series that I've been seeing popping up all over the internet where it's like an evil party. I don't know if that's a thing.
Strong Bad, wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't get into that stuff, but like I remember seeing it.
He was pre.
It wasn't an animation thing though, because it might have been. Was it a Newgrounds thing or was it a comic?
I think it started out on Newgrounds. Wow, Newgrounds.
Well, what about Newgrounds?
Oh, that predates 9/11 too.
Newgrounds, YTMND.
Did you ever go to Albino Black Sheep?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good times.
Congregate was a thing.
It's funny how
yeah, Strong Bad is Homestar. There you go.
Animutations and Fanimutations started out on Albino Black Sheep. The guy who's responsible for Bustin' is responsible for Animutations. Let it be known.
Good to know. Yeah.
Bustin'.
I feel like
Bustin'.
Other than like the ones that I found through other people, like if someone was like, "Have you seen this comic?" and you're like, "All right, that's pretty good," and then maybe you get like you stick with it and you're like, "I'm gonna read this for a while," you know, like, and I don't know. There are some where like aspects of my life have been like I think it was called Least You Could Do. That character, like the character from that, I named my cat after, and because of that comic, I learned what Cadbury eggs were.
Uh-huh.
And then ended up being like, these are the greatest things since anything. Like, Cadbury eggs are amazing.
Oh, yes.
So, like, because of that webcomic, I was like, what the fuck's a Cadbury egg? And then I had a Cadbury egg, and the character was like, they're the greatest fucking, like, candy. And I was like, okay.
They're quite delicious.
And they're definitely in my top. I think they are one of the best candies.
Coming from a man who does not have a sweet tooth, let it be known.
Well, they're just, like, they're so good.
Shitty Flash animations on Newgrounds used to be high art in the early 2000s. Oh, man.
Yeah, remember when Ego Raptor made animations? Or that?
Metal Gear Awesome was a really, 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 really good cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it very much.
Before he was a company man. Yeah, LFG Comic was great.
Thank you, Basement, chiming in with the history check. I think part of... I've always wondered if there would be a resurgence of webcomics now that, like, because things are slowly coming full circle, and we're like, okay, because we're having, because, okay, time is a flat circle, and, like, at some point, something has to give. So in the same way in where, in the 80s, the immediacy of technology, and now there were fewer barriers to entry than ever before when making almost anything.
I want to see something because Strange Planet is a comic series.
So like would webcomics end up having a comeback in this cycle of the time is a flat circle, or who knows? I'm curious because like some of them were fantastic. No one has ever heard of Neskimos though, and that always bums me out a little bit. Neskimos was hilarious. Or to quote people in the hood, hilarious.
Yeah, so so the funny thing is, looking at webcomics now is kind of funny, because Strange Planet, as my example, I remember when I first saw those comics, and you've probably seen them, the aliens, and they're like very literal about things.
Yeah. And
I was like, these are genius. Because it's literally just human observation and then being like, we do weird things, and the aliens are like, they do weird things. I remember seeing it being like, this is kind of clever. And then next thing I know, it went from like seeing one every once in a while to like, there's one every week. And then he was just banging them out. And I was doing mall shopping for Christmas, this previous Christmas. and went into a Hot Topic, and there's Strange Planet shit on the walls. So like, I believe he started that in 2019, and Christmas of 2020, I saw Strange Planet stuff
And a Hot
in
Topic
a
in
Hot
the
Topic.
mall.
So, because of social media, like, I feel like there's way more opportunity if you're making good stuff. You know what I mean? Something that can be shared easily.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably get there. Like, I can't imagine Stone Toss doing well in a store. Not shareable, because the second it crosses the path of someone who's like, nope, bad. Like, imagine trying to put that on the desk of someone in a store and be like, now sell it on a T-shirt. Like, it's not going to happen. But
Okay.
if you make easily consumable and like even if it's like mid to high tier rating, you can probably get picked up and sell your property and then make money off it and be done. I'm just saying. I imagine the guy who made Strange Planet. I mean, I'm sure he's still making them, but imagine how much more money he makes now because of like T-shirts, cups, blankets, bags, backpacks, hats, and that's his income. He doesn't have to worry about. He drew he drew one picture and was like, "Here's the shirt idea," and then it's like, "All right, here's a small percentage of every shirt that goes out," and he can just sit there being like, "Ha ha ha, comic,"
Uh-huh.
and like money because of merchandise. Which I don't know. That feels like a end of quarantine transition because I brought up the end of the quarantine kind of via the Christmas thing.
Well, with the passage of time, I'm a little startled in how like webcomic to Hot Topic in a mall on Christmas. Although, I mean, all right.
Well,
I mean,
to be fair, that's what Hot Topic is now. There was a time when Hot Topic was the alt store. When I was growing up, Hot Topic was for alt kids. It was for styles that were not in, even though it was called Hot Topic.
right.
I think back then it was more of like a hot topic in like a hot take sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's how I imagined the idea was. But to be fair, it was always still trendy.
Well, if not trendy, it was like against the grain, but not out there. Like,
Well, they always had shit that was circulating amongst younger people. Like, remember those stupid little
even if it,
plastic bracelets that the kids were calling sex bracelets? Like, I remember when those popped up, and I was like, why is this here? Because it's hot right now. It just so happened that when Hot Topic came out, there was a resurgence of like, oh, 13-year-olds like Nirvana for some reason.
or the infinite. I was always impressed when going to Hot Topic and seeing all of the ways that they were able to put Family Guy on merchandise, especially the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as egregious as Kiss, but like it's still like that was overwhelming.
Anything that somebody would go, ooh, I get that, was in Hot Topic. And that cycle has
Right.
continued, but now there are more
Hey,
things.
anyone
you know?
remember tshirthell.com?
No.
Ah, that's where you could find. Well, they used to have like not the most offensive T-shirts on the internet, but a couple of them. Like it was kind of funny, like a school shooter U.S. tour, and it had like the dates and the locations, and the U.S. map and the spots, and it was a limited run shirt because they had to stop printing it after a while.
Makes sense, yeah.
You know, yes, Kool-Aider T-shirt hell. And they had like you could like hey model yourself wearing a shirt, and it had like you know like losers and like hot chicks. Like that was just like attractive women and everyone else, even if it was like a celebrity, like it was losers, and it was just hot chicks wearing their shit that they would send in of them wearing like one of them was like serial killer, and it was like serial mascots, but they were all like butchered and hung and like you know
Okay, yeah.
some of them were kind of what about all of the good things Hitler did, and it had him holding a bouquet of flowers. You see?
Okay. I can get behind that. But yeah, so now webcomic gets popular, Hot Topic.
Okay.
Kind of how, like, all of a sudden,
Bring back emo girls. All right, they're crucial pain. Calm your tits.
all of a sudden, anime and manga is popular amongst adults, so now anyone will buy anime and manga stuff, even if they're not super into it. You know? Things like Nightmare Before Christmas will never not be popular with some group, whether it is teenage girls who think they're edgy, or middle-aged women who think they're edgy, or full-grown women with children who think they're edgy.
Right.
They will continue to buy Nightmare Before Christmas merch, either on the grounds of like, oh look, it matches my outfit, or because like, oh my god, Nightmare. Although I imagine having weird like purple and black outfits really helps sell that kind of merchandise.
Well, I once upon a time, I imagine that there were people who saw Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise and wondered if it was a brand instead of a movie,
Film, yeah.
because it eventually became sort of a weird.
It's a brand now.
Now, yeah,
Yeah, now
but
it's a
like,
brand.
but even back then, because it always seemed to attract a particular, like, I don't know, like, population.
Edgy people, or people who believed themselves to be edgy, or people who were still finding their way through the muck of whether or not they were edgy.
Right.
And for some people, it stuck. I like Nightmare when I was old, like younger. I look back on it now, and I still think the claymation holds up from a film perspective, like standpoint. Danny Elfman's songs are always amazing.
Right.
The story's kind of bunk. It's not a good story. You know, it's kind of meh.
They had a lot. Yeah, they did. Although, remember when it was like Dumbledore dies on page 497? Like, they had some really good shirts, dude.
They've had some stuff. And I still find things there occasionally where I'm like, I would wear this. Like, they have button downs, and the button downs are kind of cool because it's not like traditional button downs. It's just got weird shit in it. It's like, you know what? This is dope. Cool T-shirts sometimes.
All right, this is getting itchy as fuck. I'm gonna take a moment. I'm
Hit or
very
miss.
sorry.
Like, I got Dragon Ball Z T-shirts at Hot Topic.
Okay, but that's, I mean, we could
I'm
all
just
kind
saying.
of agree. Well, it is funny, though, how back then Dragon Ball Z was like, LOL, nerd, and now it's one of the most agreed upon, like...
Well, that's just all of this stuff. There are things coming back, like, there are things... Because the generation that fit into the, like, oh, you watched anime growing up, you read comic books growing up, you played the video games growing up, and so on, the D&D and this kind of music and all of that. Well, we're the adults now. We get to decide what is good and bad because, like, kids don't choose trends. Teenagers don't choose trends. Teenagers pick up on trends. What we're saying is good because we're the mass population. You know what I mean? Right. We're the ones deciding stuff. So if I like video games, anime, Dungeons and Dragons, whatever kind of music, that's what you got to sell because I'm the one with the fucking money and the job buying things.
You're right. No, but disposable income is now a permanent part of our economy, and like, how else do you think people are able to fucking send like money every month to like a Patreon or an OnlyFans or a Subscribestar or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can I trouble you for some water?
Yeah.
Thank you, dude. I mean, like, you know, and I don't even mean just like, Twitch e-girls or no, I mean even people like Frank Castle and Sam Hyde, like, you know, even as the economy is slowly falling apart, they're able to like rake in money every month. Well, yeah. Even like Red Letter Media, like they have a Internet Common Etiquette, like all those people have Patreons, you know. Although it makes you wonder, like, how long were they doing it? Red Letter Media was around for, like, fucking forever before they put up the Patreon, remember?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they have it, because we probably wouldn't get videos without it. Come on, camera.
Star Wars is the biggest disappointment since my son.
Well, yeah, those kinds of things wouldn't exist without it. But, you know, yes, the disposable income helps. But, that to be fair, think about... So,
Can you move the seltzer bottle?
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
That's good. So think about specifically a place like Hot Topic, right? When I was younger shopping there, because let's be honest, their demographic is younger people. I wasn't paying with my money. I'm good, thank you. I was paying with my parents' money and getting shit for me. So I grew up going there to get shit, but not with my money. So now I go back there to see if they have shit that I still like. I pay with my own money. They made a lifelong customer by selling cool shit when I was younger, and as I got older, they kept selling some cool shit here and there. So now when I'm at the mall, I'm like, oh, there's a Hot Topic? Let's see if they have any cool shirts. Because they've always had a consistency of like, oh, they've got a lot of dumb shit I don't care about.
I was always drawn to Hot Topic because they would have fish bowls of pins. And sometimes you'd find some really awesome pins, like Ministry, Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Like,
so they have cool shit. And then on top of that, because these things are now popular and trendy, a younger generation is seeing what other people find trendy and going, oh, and this place sells merch for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, although I think
Some things just stand the test of time because so long as there are again adults who look at Nightmare and go, I love the style of this and I would like rep it. Like I think it's a fine movie. I don't think it's great. It's fine. From a like artistic angle,
yeah,
gorgeous. Cool character design,
I got you.
great claymation work. The music is like well made and performed great. But as a film, it's kind of boring.
So you mean like on a technical level?
Completely. Technically, it's fantastic. As a film, it's boring as shit. I don't even want to watch it. I'll just listen to the album.
Touche. Um, End of quarantine. All right.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to?
Well,
Now
looking forward to. I've been doing everything I've been looking forward to. To be fair, I've been doing it for a while. New York hasn't given a shit. The biggest things for me, so it's kind of a double-edged sword because like now it's back to work, and I've had moments where I was sitting in like the office at work and just like looking at a computer and being like, I miss just being home and not having to care about like working and being around people. And then there's the like being around people part where it's like I remember not liking you people and it hasn't changed. Like a year away from humanity in the city hasn't changed a thing. However, I do think taking a very long break from being out in the world has helped me readjust because part of my new job is the social aspect. I have to engage people a lot. And I hated that shit in my previous work. I just don't like doing it.
right.
And now that I've had all of this time to readjust and mostly spend that time working on myself in small and large ways,
Yeah.
coming out of the quarantine, it's like I do just generally feel better.
You no longer have do you no longer have the constant playing of in some corner of your mind. Everybody knows shit's fucked.
Yeah, well-
Everybody knows shit's fucked.
Well, I like that you bring that up because there was that still plays, but here's the difference.
Uh-huh.
Pre-quarantine, so we're talking like we'll say much like there was before and after 9/11,
Yeah.
there is now before and after the
Quarantine.
quarantine.
Yeah.
Before the quarantine, everybody knows shit's fucked played in my head on a loop, and it was almost like an ironic playing because it was funny to see people who were unaware of how fucked everything was. And it was weird to hang out with people who were like, so shit's pretty fucked. And it's like, right, I know the people who know, and you see it. You see news articles about it, and like, but it was weird to feel as if people were ignoring it. Now, after quarantine, everybody knows. I don't think there's any more hiding the how fucked things are. Like, we've gone from the cycle of realizing something is bullshit is so much quicker now. From like,
Oh, I saw something online that said the difference between a conspiracy theory and a headline now is like 6 to 12 months.
probably
Like, and I that's the and what's scary is how out in the open like that almost ends up becoming like the weird downfall where it's like because it's so open because like everyone's in on this joke and it's like but like no one's moving past making fun of it. I think like how do I like remember when Epstein died?
yeah.
Hey, like if that flew.
Well, I was gonna like my two examples, and I have more to say on the whole ending of quarantine because there's a lot of stuff to unpack now that everything's over and we get to look back on it.
But wait, but now that everybody knows shit's fucked is playing how?
So like 2019 fall,
Yeah.
weird virus going around, no one's paying attention. CDC who says don't worry about it. Winter into spring of the next year, there's a problem. We overlooked some stuff. We end up in lockdowns. Flash forward to now. People are still actively being like, why can't we investigate that lab? Why is no one looking into Wuhan? Why are we not figuring out how this happened? And we're past the point of people. So there were people who were defending that it's like you can't do this. Like don't go after China. Blah blah blah.
Right.
For the entire quarantine. And now that it's finally coming out, I've seen those people be like, well, maybe we should be looking into it. So they're breaking. they're breaking because
So-
they can
so-
no longer hold out on it.
So they're, but some of them, like if you press them hard enough, their double think ends up becoming triple think. Like
Having a whole year.
You're already seeing some people fracture. Just real quickly, it minimized, but there's a ruckus going on in Times Square. I don't
No,
know.
this is just the quarantine being over. That's why I put that up there. A couple of weeks ago, it was empty and there were just protesters because there was stuff happening. Quarantine's done. Times Square's back, baby. It's packed again.
Bless you.
We're back to like being shoulder to shoulder on the trains
But like
and not wearing masks and like yelling at each other across the street.
there's still gonna be half the train of people with masks.
Yeah, for a while. But so a couple of other things. So, but like, so people are breaking, right? And I remember, and it's because we had this year to scrutinize things and to really go like to dig deep and investigate and work on things. So, for instance, I want to say maybe a month ago, probably a little bit more. I sat down. I was having a conversation with someone, a friend of mine. We were drinking. We were talking about a bunch of shit. And we eventually ended up with a conversation about certain types of sciences. And I was like, psychology is a pseudoscience. Fight me. Okay. And she was like, okay, like, what do you mean it's a pseudoscience? It's a science. And I was like, no, because it doesn't hold up to the scientific method. And what works for one person from psychology standpoint doesn't work for a lot of people. It is not a science. It's all a bunch of theories. And because it's so vastly different, you shouldn't call it a fucking science.
Okay, but okay, psychology.
Psychology in general.
So even
As
like
a full study, there are some parts of psychology that do hold up to testing. I'm not saying, all of it is a fucking
well, I
sham.
mean, not to nitpick, but okay. What
Go
about
ahead.
what about clinical psychology?
Like I said, there are some things that hold up. But the whole, like, the sciences,
Okay, give me an example of something that holds up that isn't clinical psychology.
you mean like outside of psychology?
Well, a kind of psychology that holds up.
I mean, it depends on the individual. This is my argument.
Okay,
That
I see where you're coming from.
when you call something a science, that typically refers to the idea of it holds up in testing. Science is all about taking a theory or a hypothesis, putting it through a test, figuring out if you're right,
Okay.
and then repeating tests to the point where you go, okay, it checks out so much and so often that it's no longer a hypothesis. We can now jump to theory, put it under some more rigorous testing, and then call something a law.
Can you give me an example?
Gravity, and how gravity works.
I mean, in a therapy.
The structure of a cell.
I mean, not.
Well, no. My argument was that, like, you gotta give me the psychology argument. You gotta give me a field of psychology and a study that works across the board. You know how fucking hard that is?
Okay. That.
So I have a point about this.
Okay.
Recently, a study that was done over the course of the quarantine that took a bunch of different, psychological papers and case studies, applied them to a larger base at random during the quarantine. Take a guess at what percentage of those hundreds of different studies and papers held up to the scientific method of just applying it to different people that weren't the fucking person in the study.
How many were there? 100.
I think it was like hundreds. I think it was thousands of people tested.
Okay.
But the idea was like, so we're doing a study into this behavioral trait, and we think that this is like a thing that's common in people. And it's like we're gonna just throw it at random people and see if it see how much it sticks, and see if we can say that like, so you believe that people have X quality inherently. Okay, 100 people test them for X quality, and how many? Like, what's the percentage of that being a thing?
6.
It was like 39%
Oh.
of these studies are accurate. So, like, the ideas that are pushed in psychology, like the way that they treat people and the way that they approach things, are less than 40% accurate to the human species. So 60% of the time, what you're like the 60% of your practices and your behaviors in psychology are ineffective.
Well, okay. Well, not to poo-poo on your parade, but then you look at something like meteorology. If you're right half the time, you're a good weatherman.
Right, and meteorology is also a pseudoscience because we don't understand it well. My point isn't that I think it shouldn't be done, or that you shouldn't take some information from it and use it for like any kind of valid arguments. But there are people who swear by psychologists, and swear by the idea that you need to like see one and have one in your life and work with people, and it's like right, but a mediocre and lower psychologist, and you don't get to fucking decide. can be throwing out textbook shit at you, and based on recent studies, 60% of the textbook shit doesn't apply to everybody.
All right, pop quiz, hot shot. Who would you rather deal with? Someone who believes in psychology or someone who believes in astrology?
Psychology.
Okay.
Because astrology is based on floating gas in the sky. That some fucking Chinese guy was like, that means you're a fish.
You know, yo, you know what I don't understand? Like, people, women especially these days, will live and die by astrology, but will scoff at fortune cookies.
Yes, Danger. That aspect of it is not part of the scientific principle that we're studying. If a psychologist can't apply it across the board, it shouldn't be considered a science. A habit, a trait, like an experiment.
A behavior?
Yeah. It's not a science.
Okay.
It's the same way, like astrology falls in that same bracket, where like I'm going to use a vague way of determining and just and describing something, and because of its vague description, that someone can fit into that vague description on occasion. If it's more likely that if I'm right half the time, I can be like, oh, you're such a this.
Would you? But we're not even dealing with half the time. It's 40%.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like the thing about astrology is like, what about all the times I'm not behaving under my sign?
Oh wow! Not what a Taurus thing to say.
Like, how come when people aren't behaving like their sign, there isn't like a, you're being awfully weird for an X. There's none of that. It's always, oh, you're being so this right now. Not, why are you not behaving like this right now?
Right. It's always the confirm of the affirmation of the ordeal. You see, okay. I have a question. Would you be adverse to, like, if you were on Break the Rules, all right, and you were arguing against psychology, and you argued against a psychologist, would you be against that?
No, I mean, I don't think I can argue against a psychologist. I also don't think that there's argue against psychology. It's people take psychology too seriously, and it hasn't been studied enough. I'm not someone who looks into psychology. I'm just glad that somebody else was like, I'm gonna put the fucking psychological papers and the studies that they've done, and I'm gonna test them like blind against people. I'm not gonna bring like, imagine if you were like, all right, I want to do a study on the effects of.
I mean this sincerely. I'm not trying to be a dick, but
no,
like, can you like what medical journal? I kind of want to read this.
I kind of want. I'll look into it again. I'll find the link for you. But imagine if they were like, all right.
I imagine you could Google it, right?
Yeah,
like,
I want to imagine if someone was like, I'm going to do a study, and I have a theory that like people with certain dissociative personality disorders will behave in a certain way, right?
Right.
So you're like, I believe that they're going to behave angrily to X
I
stimulants.
believe that she will win. Sorry, remember
like
that.
so like I think that the people with this behavioral trait or this like disorder are going to react in this way, right? Now, you get a good batch of those people. Now let's say you're like bipolar people are going to react violently to this kind of stimuli, and you get a bunch of people who have the bipolar personality disorder that makes them like somewhat irritable, and they react, and you go, great, bipolar people react to X stimuli in a negative way. And then people go, oh, well, now I gotta think about that stimuli when it comes to bipolar people. And then there's a list of bipolar people out there in the world who are like, I'm fine with that. That's what that fucking study was done to do. Just to go like, you're being too broad about these things in psychology. You're being far too broad. Because they're meant to like narrow down things, and like, you can't narrow down people's brains. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
Okay.
People behave differently under different, like, at different points in their life, under different conditions, under different, like, what if I get that fucking person who you were like, when I hit them with the taser, they reacted poorly. Get them drunk now and see how they react to the taser.
I'm very sorry about you.
I'm making shit up, but like,
okay, no.
the conditions make a lot of difference, especially when it comes to psychology. How the brain works? No, the brain is constantly shifting. Your behaviors are constantly changing under different stressors, environments, people around you, like the things in your body. How much you've slept.
The people you're around, what you put into your body.
They don't hold up. And they generalize in psychology. It's the same way, like, you can, like, do you know how many of these people who go to see a psychologist to try and fix their shit could just benefit from going to see a fucking personal trainer instead? Just getting their shit together? But no, they go see a psychologist who's like, tell me about how your parents were. And it's like, I want to talk about why my brain no work good right now, but I have to find out what your parents were like.
Why constant anger sad?
Yeah, like fucking figure like, okay, do you have are you stressed at work? Take a deep breath. Like how do you have stress breathing? Like do you exercise at all? What are you eating? What are your sleep patterns like? Is your body out of whack? But psychologists, when you were in school, did anybody call you names? Shut the fuck up! It doesn't matter right now. We're past this.
Well, I think.
But and then for some people, that's the fucking breaking point. They're like, yeah, I was called names in school. Holy shit! But the fact that people look at psychologists and they're like, these are people of science. No, these are people with a large log of like what ifs and maybes, and they're just throwing it and seeing what sticks, and people trust them.
Yeah.
It is not a science.
Well, part of what makes it deadly though, is how, like one.
But thank you, quarantine, for bringing that to light.
Okay. Ooh, nice callback.
Because someone was, I guess, some guy was like, I'm gonna take some of these studies and we're gonna assess them. It's not everything in psychology, but he was like, this kind of treatment of this kind of person doesn't hold up across the board. You can't just throw shit at people because it worked before.
One outcome of this sort of application, I would argue, and like okay, like now that I see
lithium.
Now that I see where you're coming from, is okay. So like a crucial pain took the words out my mouth. One outcome of this kind of application, but on a more forward scale, beyond just like some clinician psychologist or even just a psychologist, then comes medication.
Yes.
And not all these medications work the same for all people.
Not at all.
And in fact, well, there's that link between pew pew and either on the meds or suddenly went off the meds, is all I'm saying. There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
That we've had a track record of this since the fucking 80s. Also, okay, hot take, all right? This is unrelated to everything. I want to get your opinion on this thing.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. You heard of like sudden infant death syndrome, right?
I've heard of it. I just don't
SIDS.
know anything about it. Yeah.
All right. So, I've been wondering, and I got to look into the numbers about this. All right. We never hear of SIDS until like towards the end of the 20th century, like the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
I have a hard time finding anything about SIDS in like the past, like the 70s, 60s, 50s. Maybe I'm wrong. The point is, SIDS always seems to happen at home, like where there are no witnesses. And I'm not saying all cases of SIDS are just like mothers, like either choking or smothering their babies. But how come a baby never dies of SIDS during a picnic with a bunch of witnesses? SIDS never seems to happen with like witnesses. It's always like, oh, I went to check in on the baby and it fucking died. And like, I'm not okay. So the bitter, cynical, jaded part of me is like, because we can't owe up. Like, you know how there's a push in the media where it's like women are kind and incapable of any harm ever. And if you ever talk to a guy who went through a divorce proceeding, he's like, no. When a woman considers you like a fucking like burden, no.
Now, isn't there also like there's a huge area of study into the amount of depression that women go through after having a child, and a large majority of women who go through that, like, is it postpartum depression? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
A lot of people who have those kind of symptoms, they aim it at their baby. They blame their child for those feelings because the idea, I guess, the connection in the brain is had baby, now feel bad. So your brain's just like baby fault. You know what I mean? Like, the baby did this.
What did Kool-Aid say? I can't read it from here.
SIDS is a nice way of saying that the baby stopped breathing because someone left them in a position where they can't breathe.
Okay. That's also a very good valid point. Like
Someone who's just not ready for parenting.
and not everyone's ready to be a parent. Not everyone is capable of being a parent in the first place. But like, I not again like I you never hear of like a child, or you never hear of a baby dying of SIDS where there's like a bunch of witnesses. You never. It's always isolated cases of like, you know, oh, like I went to check in on the baby and it was crying and then it stopped crying.
Well,
Like,
devil's advocate on that. A lot of people who have babies don't do social things, and they stay home with baby.
right, okay.
So I think there is I mean, I get where you're coming from. There's probably a lot more people killing their kids than we want to admit.
You never hear of a baby dying of SIDS on the fucking beach. Like, I mean, I'm just like.
Although, also to be fair, like Kool-Aid had mentioned, you put the baby in the wrong position and it suffocated. So, like, when you're out and about,
Right.
you're gonna notice if baby's not breathing, because you're actively doing thing with baby.
Right.
It's when you're like, okay, baby, I'm gonna go fucking watch TV now until I hear you making noises, and then like, but when baby can't breathe, baby can't make noise, so it just suffocates.
Okay. Very excellent point. Okay, but what I would like to point out is, antidepressants really didn't enter the. I don't want to exclusively call it the mommy market, but antidepressants started to gain a very big uptick in the late 80s and early 90s. And all I'm saying is that's also where we have an uptick of SIDS. And I'm not saying all cases of SIDS are the event of the mother murdering or smothering the child for any number of reasons, but not all of them, but there are some of them. That's that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Someone in the background is getting their pocket picked right now.
But yeah, I'm sure there's
Probably
plenty
that
of
guy.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who kill their kid. I don't doubt that at all. We have cases of it all the time where someone or they kill someone else's kid. It happens. I also just feel like there's a weird. I mean, a couple of things to factor into that before we go back to quarantine talk. Way more hormones in people now than ever before, which means that not only are they having children because of the hormones, they're also like imbalanced. So I'm sure that that doesn't help. And we're also coming into a weird phase where there's a lot of people. Imagine, I mean, we don't really have this because we're not women, but imagine being raised by the generation of like you have to have a kid, you have to settle down, you have to have that kid, and then like you have the kid and it's just not at all a good experience. Like they don't the parents don't sit down and be like, oh, by the way, you know how you were having fun and enjoying your life and a career woman and everything was great, and like your fucking husband was all around you all the time, you guys went to dinner. Welcome to the next 18 years of just like taking care of this fucking thing that ruined your relationships, possibly. Like you don't see your friends anymore. You can't work efficiently for a couple of years. Possibly like distance from the because like now like someone has to go work, whether it's you or the husband, like someone has to pick up the slack here, or your family has to do it. But like there are a lot of negatives that come with child rearing, and it varies. But like there are a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
But we as a species have come to terms with the fact that like this is how we survive, and it's part of the process. You raise your child, and people help you raise your child. But that doesn't mean that we have to be fucking super positive about it. We can be like, no, it's a fucking miserable experience not being able to sleep and go out to dinner and have fun and have to spend all this money and then like 18 years and it's very possible that that kid grows up and you fucking hate them.
Oh shit.
Like, but no one wants to fucking bring that up, you know? But I'm sure that plays in too. So hormones, the fact that that there's a generation being told like kids will be great and then they're not fucking great.
Well,
and then you have parents who are like, you're supposed to be great.
and they're
that could be a thing.
although like how many times? Okay, well, okay. I'm glad you bring this up. So picture in your mind. Fucking great. All right, hold on. Fucking great. All right. So wait. Great. Okay. So
And then they're not.
So how many times the SIDS happen and it's like the mother who's like, oh no, Babby, stop breathing. How many times have SIDS happened and it's like the man who's like, uh-oh, Babby, stop breathing. So what I'd like to know is like, so we have the best medical forensics shit in the world. All right, if fucking women started suddenly not breathing in the middle of the fucking night tomorrow, all of the Western world's medical resources would be poured into trying to figure the fuck out why this happens. And 2,300 babbies in America die every fucking year because babbies stop breathing and no one gives a shit. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. If fucking Guatemalan people stopped breathing in the middle of the fucking sleep, this would turn into like the medical overnight sensation in the galaxy.
Hold on.
Like, it doesn't make
Because-
any fucking sense to
Because
me.
you're talking about like spontaneous, like adults spontaneously suffocating, versus, as Kool-Aider mentioned, you didn't know how to put the baby down because you are new to this and no one is helping you, and the baby suffocated. Or you were like, "Ooh, look, these pillows look so cute," and the baby's fucking, and then the baby suffocated because
But I think, wouldn't by trial and error, like, I'd like to believe at least once in a newborn parent's life, something would happen. Like, okay, how do I put Babby down? And then like it puts it face down, and it's like, that's not good. I wonder how many parents are like, that's good, and then they come back and it's dead.
you
like,
underestimate the stupidity of people.
I really do.
And to be fair, the number, like we said, 2,300,
2,300 every year.
compared to how many don't suffocate, not super high.
All right.
But there's a small batch of really stupid people.
Okay.
And inside that small batch of stupid people who accidentally their baby, there's a smaller batch that don't accidentally it. And it's very possible that, like, because think about, I mean, like, this is going to get morbid, so Twitch, please don't, like, imagine how easy it is to suffocate a infant. And then think about a doctor looking at an infant and being like, okay, it just couldn't breathe. You don't have, like, it's not like strangling out an adult who's fighting back and can resist, where, like, you're going to notice, like, marks
Right.
and, like, there was a sign of struggle.
But all you would have to do is just like put a pillow gently over its mouth,
And there'd be no sign of
and
struggle.
then oops, Babby stopped breathing,
And a doctor would look at it and go, because unless the fucking person's a psycho with a baby, you know what I mean? You can't tell the difference. Hard. It's very hard.
all I'm saying,
that there's a lot of SIDS out there, all right? And considering we have like some of the best medical forensic technology in the world, and like we're gonna have medical specialists have no way of explaining out of 2,300 dead babies every year in America. We're gonna have like medical experts sign off and be like, wow, just stop breathing. Like I refuse to believe every single one of them can be either chalked up to like incompetence, just stupidity.
Well, who's to say that years from now we're not going to look back on this and be like, because of how much we fucking mixed up our gene pool over thousands of years, like there are straight up, like there are babies that just fucking die.
You're right.
Like poor genealogy. Like we have,
Kind of like when you breed a pug with a Saint Bernard, and you have this like,
and it can't fucking breathe.
every moment is pure agony.
Yeah, like I mean, you could breed.
First time chat from viewer.
Just shake the baby.
Ex Machina F, just shake the baby. Oh no! But you see,
Shake the baby to breathe.
you're gonna.
Come on, baby.
This is the best Warrior game ever.
Just shake the baby. Come on, wake
How
up.
many? Well, I'm lucky my mom didn't murder me. Never looked at it that way. How many babies die before age 1? You see, Danger. That's a very good point, because like. Not every single instance of SIDS, I refuse to believe, is just I put on Babby on tummy, like, or
No. But the thing is, because of the small pool of people, the small window that happens in, based on your number, it's not a lot, and based on the fact that it's so easy to suffocate an infant. We're talking about like a baby could turn the wrong way,
okay,
and it will stop breathing.
But why have we not heard of SIDS until like the 80s? And I have a hard time finding instances of SIDS in like the 70s and earlier than that.
I got an answer to that one too, because of the absolutely tiny amount of like instances of it happening, and because of the morbid outcomes of it, most people don't like talking about those things. And if it's that small of numbers,
Yes.
I imagine, and also, you know, information exchange has rapidly expanded, so now, like, every time, like, someone could find out that there's a condition where your nails grow in weird, and then, like, everyone will be at the doctor being like, "Are my nails okay?" Like, I recently found out you can get 2 hairs in a pore and have, like, really bushy hair, and I was like, I didn't know that was a thing, but you know what? The internet exists now, and now I know that's a thing. Because stupid shit is now just on the internet, and you just find it by clicking on stuff. It happens. But, like, Yeah, something bad happened and someone died, and they don't want to fucking like. My baby stopped breathing, and the doctor's like, "Well, you kind of fucked up, but like,
Sudden infant death syndrome.
I'm not calling. I'm not going to be like you murdered. You put the baby
Right. And again, like, how many times is it like the mother and not the father?
I don't know.
I like that's.
I'm sure that I'm sure the numbers for male. I'm sure the numbers were more female prior to recent years. The male numbers had to have gone up recently because there's more stay-at-home dads.
Maybe maybe these are the tough questions no one's willing to
So you're
ask.
gonna have to do research on that on your
You
own.
see? Well, I don't want to research.
See, because no one wants to talk about this because it's fucking weird and it's depressing. It's dead babies.
All right, I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's been somehow hanging over you.
So remember, SIDS is fake.
It's not fake. It's just very uncomfortable, and it's hard to be like, you killed your baby, but you technically did it by accident.
And all women are precious and incapable of harm, and they would never do such a thing.
Well, again,
ever.
well, now, even based on your own numbers, you're talking about 2,300 women.
Right.
Out of billions.
Even if you were to be like a third are dumb, a third are just not meant for parenting, now you used to still have like a third of like what?
Well, hold on. That's unfairly skewing the numbers because
700 and
no.
733.
You're gonna have to take if you're gonna say a third, a third, and a third.
Uh-huh.
Now we have to assume that a third of every teenager in high school is a fucking shooter. Because sometimes one fucking douchebag with a gun shoots a school up. No. We're talking about like 1% of SIDS cases is the mom who was like, "All right, baby." Like maybe one or two.
Shh, there.
I would argue that if anything, more like 99% is just like stupidity. Or I would lower it. Like 90% is just like you made a miscalculation, you fucked up, baby's dead now. And then there's like this weird window where there's probably like, did the baby have asthma? Is the air quality in the city you live in shit?
Did the baby have an unknown peanut allergy and it ate peanut earlier and
Was
now
there
it
food
just
still
stopped?
in its fucking throat and then like,
And now it stopped.
and then sometimes, not all the time, but very small shit, like someone was like, "Bye bye, baby," and then dad comes home or mom comes home. Oh, fuck, man. I need a drink. You know, like that kind of. I'm sure that happens. But
Well-
you know what? Enough with the dead babies. I don't want to talk about dead babies anymore.
Remember, SIDS, I don't know, kind of suspicious.
Suspicious, maybe. But I think case by case on that one.
Okay.
Much like psychology, let's not just put everyone in the same box.
Listen,
In fact, let's not even put them in a couple of boxes.
psychology, you're on notice.
Let's get rid of the boxes. We need to make we need to make Venn diagrams, but it's like thousands of layers, and that's the most I'll give psychology. Start cross-referencing shit, and stop being like, well, if you think about this, you're probably this, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It makes no sense.
And now we're gonna have to fight the SID psychologists.
The rationalizers of SIDS.
It was, like I said, it was a nice way to say that the caregivers were responsible for the child's death. All right, there, Kool-Aider.
But,
Listen, I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth.
So the quarantine ending.
So a third of them are because they're dum-dums.
Sure, if you want to just, you can have your third. I think you're skewing the numbers.
I think
Because
you're wrong.
a third of teenagers are not school shooters, and a third of grown men are not rapists. Like, no, you can't just call things thirds.
Okay. Every year, 733 babies are killed because it was like, shut the fuck up.
You have to tell me how many of those cases were confirmed. Like, what you're doing is taking the SIDS numbers and not looking at the number of childs killed by parent. Because there's a number for that.
I imagine, and you know what's not there? SIDS.
Yeah, because it's not the same thing.
Sometimes it is.
It's not, though. Because, like, unless the doctor was really sympathetic and saw the baby and was like...
in a very circumstantial way, I'm going to have to go ahead and say yes.
I'm just saying, like, unless the doctor looks at the baby and is like... And it's like, what happened? Oh, they stopped breathing. Oh, I'm sorry, what? And it's like, they stopped, I don't know, they weren't breathing, and the doctor's like... They just stopped breathing.
And you see gigantic hand marks.
Yeah,
around
and
it.
it's like, okay, just stop breathing. But, like, at that point, that's more on the doctor than the person, because the doctor's letting a psychopath get away.
Well...
Which, I mean, that's a whole different topic of conversation.
That happens 5 times every 2 days, because like it's 2.5, you know.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, 733 babies a year.
Don't those are not cited statistics.
Classic Sid's denier argument. You see?
That was just math he did in his head, and that has nothing to do with the statistics.
It has plenty to do. 2,300 a year. So a
You-
third are dum-dums.
You sound like these people who are like, I saw a psychologist once, and it changed my life, so it'll happen for you too.
So I went to go see the Northern Lights, and because I saw the melting ice caps, I decided to give up eating chorizo because I'm saving the planet.
Oh my god. Can you imagine how many people, now that quarantine's over and they go back to traveling, and like the world has just been through the ringer of absolute garbage, and like all the economies are shot, and like everything is shutting down, and the ice caps have still been melting, and like industry is ruined? Imagine like the tourist economy in the world after quarantine.
Oh, I mean, first of all,
Like they're just gonna like all of these places that have been hiding their like piles of shit behind walls and being like, no, this way, this way. Like, how much worse is it gonna be?
it must have been more than awful. In fact, like there are, oh dear sweet Jesus, everything that was bad just got worse, and everything got worse regardless if it was good or not.
Yeah.
So the informal gray market economy that is the backbone of tourism in a lot of ways, I imagine not only has suffered just numbers wise,
Oh, of
but
course.
think of all of the like so this as a backdrop to, all right, if there's no more quarantine, so like first of all we're gonna have to pretend to be surprised when like there's sudden spikes and like, oh, okay, and like now there's a like fucking 14 people got tested positive for Chinese lung herpes, and it turns out it was like some fucking guy who flew there from New York.
Oh
you know?
yeah, that's gonna happen a
Like,
lot.
Right, so then I've always wondered if it's gonna be like, because the minute hand.
Well, unless there was nothing to worry about in the first place, and then it won't happen again.
You mean like taking care of China? Like,
No, I mean like because there's other strains, right? And the vaccines
Yeah,
don't work for those
it's-
strains, right? And those strains are going around, right? Like, didn't Japan recently have a huge spike, and like India's got a huge spike,
this is right.
and we're like, everyone, get the fuck back out there. Go on. How come when it hit India and Japan, we were like, fuck off, everyone get the hell out. We've been in lockdown for a year. We're not doing this anymore.
Hey, listen, we got spoiled white women who want to go on ecotourism and go on the beach in India and do yoga poses. We got money to make here, buddy.
I can't
And then,
wait
like,
to get the Japanese strain over here, and everyone's just like, oh no, how did this happen?
oh no, it's Gojira's revenge.
How did we get another strain of COVID? What's going on? I thought we were fine. I was vaccinated.
So, now no one ever wants to bring up that the vaccines for Chinese lung herpes. I'm going to Thailand or Philippines. Crucial Pain is going to satisfy his yellow fever, and then he's going to go to places where, like, evidently Crucial Pain likes his women by the hour and is scotched by the quart. Listen, Crucial Pain is going to end up getting exiled from Thailand, and he's going to want to see things that not even donkey shows and ping pong.
How do you know
balls.
Crucial Pain is not
No.
just going to Thailand to get good Thai food?
Who goes to Thailand for the Thai food?
People who are trying to prove that Thai can be good. And they're like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the source because clearly it's not working out at home.
Okay.
It's like kind of the opposite of how like sometimes you go to like Italy.
Or Crucial Pain is training to be an unbeatable Muay Thai boxer.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Muay Thai is more popular in America now.
Well, who the hell goes to Thailand for, like, I'm just here for the architecture? Like,
I don't know.
You never hear anyone say that.
I'm sure they've got nice architecture. It depends on the kind of architecture you're into, like if
Or-
you studied it or not,
Or Crucial Pain is going to go to the Philippines, which is the Mexico of Southeast Asia, because they're all Catholic and they got a zillion kids and it's overcrowded and only 25% of the population speaks Spanish. It's kind of funny to consider how, like, even the Philippines, every Southeast Asian country has a Muslim population except Thailand. Even the Philippines
Are
have
they
a
bigots?
section. I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
Okay. They're bigots, gotcha.
So, Thailand, fun fact.
Mm-mm. No weird Thailand tangents, I won't have it.
No. Hear me out. Thailand, fun fact. All right. It's a Buddhist majority country, and it is the only country in all of Southeast Asia that was never colonized.
Okay.
Every single country then Southeast Asia was colonized, except Thailand. So imagine, and I know this is a facetious thing to make fun of, but like the CIA couldn't do it, MI6 couldn't do it, armies couldn't do it.
How do you know they didn't want to do it?
What then?
How do you know they didn't want to do it?
Well, there's enough in
Was it like backlash?
I know this is a really oversimplified way to view it, but imagine like an army invades and it's just like 3,000 people just Thai boxing their way through like dudes with bayonets. Like, like I don't know. They've never been colonized. End of quarantine. I didn't mean to derail him. Yeah, that's right. Crucial Pain. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go like, I'm gonna use a woman from Malaysia as a condom to fuck a woman in Thailand. How you doing?
Yeah, for some reason you can't bring up Thailand without it becoming about
I'm
sex
Crucial
tourism.
Pain.
Even though there's plenty of other shit to do in Thailand, like they have the zoos with the drugged up tigers.
Like go to North Thailand and pet the drugged up tigers up in the countryside, and then do yoga poses in third world beaches, and then that's down the road from where you wash the drugged up elephants, and you're like, I'm a good person because I'm petting the elephant and I washed it. I'm in the river with the elephant. That makes me a good person. So now we're slowly reverting back to when vacation was a personality trait.
Do you think we're gonna see that though? Because
not immediately.
Well,
we still have like 2 years. We still have how many years? 1.5 years until recovery.
Well, I was gonna say,
I suppose,
because a lot of the people who are typically
recovery,
because the vacation as a lifestyle, the vacation as an identity.
Yeah. As a personality trait.
Well, yeah, that kind of person to me usually looks like two different versions of them. It's the like yoga poses in foreign countries person.
Yeah.
And then there's like the goes to Mexico for spring break person.
Yeah.
So there's like the party version of it, like getting fucked up, going to Thailand. You go to Thailand to bang ladyboys, or you go to Thailand to pet tigers.
Although, like, not all the time, because consider that Thailand is much closer to, like, let's say Europe and Australia. In fact, it's so much closer to Australia than it is America.
Well, my point was going to be
like,
so you have those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you looked at them under like a more watchful eye in terms of quarantine ending, right?
Right.
The ones who are like, I'm going to Thailand for the drugs and the puss. They were kind of already going to Thailand.
Women also go to places like Bali and Indonesia for not only the puss, but the dick.
Sure, you can throw that in. My point is, those people were already doing it, and now that quarantine's over, they're just going to keep doing it. But the ones who do the pet the tigers, yoga poses, eat the food, put it on the Instagram, they're the ones who are like, wear 2 masks.
Oh.
So do you think that that's going to be something that, like, I guess once they get vaccinated, they'll feel satisfied?
But how desperate are they to go back to the before times, if that's even a viable option for them at that point?
Yeah. So
how many are even able to do it once it is an available option?
I feel like there's probably going to be a boom, if anything.
You think so?
Well, everyone's been locked in for over a year.
Doesn't mean everyone had the same amount of money.
No, but the people who already were traveling like that probably still have the money.
Yeah.
It's the people who weren't traveling that still don't have the money.
Touche.
So, like, there might be a huge boom in the travel industry. Everyone now, like, we all had a year off. Great, I'm taking a week off to go travel again because I was stuck at home.
And on top of that, I imagine...
Or, like, working from home.
But I imagine airplane tickets should be much cheaper than usual now, aren't they?
Significantly cheaper now, but once they start seeing those numbers and everyone just flocking out, how quick before they're going to be like, and back to normal prices, we're back, baby.
Well, don't they still have to fit the planes to normal capacity, or are they still going to have like every other seat?
Oh no, I mean, if like I said, I've already seen masks coming off, restaurants and things are back at full capacity. You have live shows coming back in full effect. We're talking about, like, they're doing, like, live recordings of things.
You're still going to see the residents?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
So, like...
When is it again?
September?
Yeah. Wow.
So, like, there is a ton of stuff coming back. So...
Mildly optimistic.
Why wouldn't the planes be like, fucking, like, put extra seats in?
His smile and optimism slightly returned.
Put more seats on the plane. Get bigger planes.
Vagrant Holiday is the only guy who knows how to travel properly. Parzival too. Gracias por tu presencia aquí hoy noche. Thank you. I had no idea about this jerk. What is he? Vagrant Holiday. What's his deal? You let us know.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's a thing.
They're already going back up. Well, wait. You mean planes? Like, are planes going back
I think
to
he
full?
means the ticket prices for planes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean-
why not? People are reopening. But meanwhile, India and Japan are in a crisis.
But
Like, this shit's not over in other parts of the world.
but it isn't all going to be some sort of easy,
my
smooth transition.
God, can you imagine?
Because the minute hand has replaced the hour hand, how do we know this isn't just going to be like smaller and quicker? Like, okay, like a global quarantine for just 1 week. Someone got sick. Someone traveled from New Delhi to Montana, and now like 100 people in Iowa now have like Indian lung herpes. So now global quarantine for a week. Like, and now that, and you know what I mean? Like, instead
Sure. Well, I was gonna that's something that I think there are people trying to plot around right now. Like, now that we have it under control and we understand it better, there'll be this idea of like, oh, well, now this strain is here, and oh, it's getting around again. So, and then it'll be wash your hands, wear a mask, self quarantine for 2 weeks. Oh, why haven't you gotten vaccinated? Like,
Right.
that kind of stuff. You know, if you have or have like you haven't gotten the vaccine. My concern is more, imagine being someone in, say, Japan, where it's getting a little bit worse, and they're still like trying to control and lock it down, and then a plane lands, and a bunch of like weeb tourists from America show up, and they're like taking pictures, and they're drinking in the streets, and they're having. Meanwhile, someone's like up at their window in their like fucking apartment building, being like, "The fuck is this? We're in lockdown. We're in lockdown. Hey, Japan!
It's so kawaii here.
Yeah, like imagine being that. Like you're still.
They filmed themselves walking through Shibuya Crossing.
Can you like? There's gonna be news about that in the next couple of months. People traveling to lockdown places and taking the pictures. And it's like they're still not doing well, guys.
It is. I think. I don't want to say it'll be inadvertent atrocity tourism, but I do believe there will be a number of people who will jump at the first opportunity, partially and mostly, if not after all, because they can afford to do so.
Yeah.
Let's say there are people, and again, like, I'm not trying to make Thailand out to be some sort of like sex only. No, like motherfuckers from Europe and like Australia go there. The women go there too, partially because it's like, hey, like tropical island paradise with super cheap ass food, and everyone's getting fucking blitzed. And like, there's a once a month lantern festival in Thailand where they make mushroom milkshakes, and there's a place in Thailand where they make the mushroom milkshakes. It's not all Thai boxing, ladyboys, and elephants. Like, there's also like.
Yeah.
So
if you're going there as a tourist, you might end up seeing one of those things.
Right, if not all three, depending where you go. So, I imagine, number one, how many drugged up tiger petting places are now operating in something resembling capacity? Because I imagine, whether they're drugged up or not, tigers, that's a lot of upkeep, even by like Thailand standards, right? It's a fucking tiger.
Presumably they've kept them good to go this whole time.
And elephants.
Yeah.
That's also a lot of drugs to just keep them without human interaction.
Also, you're just food and maintenance.
It's a lot of upkeep
on animals.
Imagine since fucking Chinese lung herpes became a thing, the people who held on and were able to pay for their horses. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's a hell of a measurement of wealth and income. Just wealth.
But this goes back to the idea of like, but if you own horses, like you just have horses casually. I'm talking about.
Right.
It's not like a business thing. Like, you're not a farmer. There's no reason to have them.
Mm-hmm.
You just casually have some fucking horses.
Yep.
You're probably doing just fine financially. Unless there's a shortage in whatever you need for them, you're probably going to be okay.
Right? Right, ladies and jerks? Even if you have horses, oh yeah, I just have a few horses in Pennsylvania. Like, you're more than fine.
You're probably fine. I don't think those people are going to be hurting at the end of the lockdowns.
Got my eye on you, you jerk.
I can't wait to see. Well, I mean, Times Square's it ain't there yet. There's space to walk on that sidewalk, so that's not Times Square at full.
Right.
And there's still gates blocking things off, but like that is significantly more than
I don't see a lot of masks.
I mean, it's pretty far away. I'm sure there's.
I mean, I
masks.
see masks, but I don't see a lot of masks.
Yeah, because you don't have to wear them anymore. We can cough on each other again.
All
and
right.
breathe in the subway air,
Oh,
which is full of heavy metals and causes lung damage.
And although there are going to be people, I think what the fuck is this guy's name? Someone, Eli. The point is, some guy was walking around New York City, and he's like, "Why are you still wearing a mask?" And some people couldn't give an answer. Some people were just like, "Oh, just to be safe." And it's like, "But are you vaccinated? Yeah, then you don't need a mask." Oh, well, it's just for other people, and it's like, but that's not like and you could tell that like most of these people have never been even asked this.
Yeah.
Some people just stood there like, I don't know. Like that was the part that was like a little, because it wasn't just like, one person said, I don't know. It was like there were men and women, young and old, different races of just like, excuse me, hi, why are you wearing a mask? Awkward silence. Next person. And it was disconcerting.
I only wear a mask in the subway, and if a store has a wear a mask sign. And on more than one occasion, I've walked out without my mask and gone to a store and just walked in and just did my thing. And then at the last minute, you're checking out something and you're getting a look and they have their mask on. You're like, whoops.
Oops.
I mean, check me out so I can leave.
Well, in their defense, not to be a jerk, in their defense, it has to be store policy.
Yeah, of course. How many people do you think, though, realistically, of course it's store policy because the government made it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people where even if the store was we're not doing masks anymore, would get a chill down their spine.
Haven't you ever seen Clerks? All they need is one instance of someone without a mask being served, and that's it. Now they got the fucking health inspectors on their ass.
Yes.
They're getting fines.
No, I'm saying
they're gonna have to go to small claims court or some bullshit.
I know why the stores do it. I'm just saying I can't wait for the mask mandates to come off, and the stores can pull down their must wear a mask in store sign, and that I still see people where I'm at wearing masks, and we don't have to anymore. It's done. There's no more mask mandate at my job. And there are still people with them on, and I'm I don't, I understand, if you feel like you need to still wear it, go for it. I was actually talking with a guy the other day, one of the customers there, and he was like, when you guys pulled the masks off here, I was like, I don't understand why they're doing that. And I was like, what do you mean? People are vaccinated and the virus numbers are down. It's not necessary anymore. He was like, I don't fucking trust these people. And I was like, right, but you vaccinated? He was like, yeah. I'm like, so...
Oakley dokley.
You're fine. And also, you're not wearing a mask right now, so clearly it's I don't trust these people, but you're not wearing a mask.
One of
the store said don't have to. Right, so now you're not doing it.
I remember tweeting something to the effect of you see this white woman.
Laughs in Florida, man.
You see this this white woman who's in the middle of doing a line, and you see lines on a mirror. And it goes, I'm not taking the vaccine because I don't know what's in it. Also, Katie. I mean, for what it's worth.
But that's a dumb argument in the first place.
I know.
Because, I'm not taking the vaccine because I don't know what's in it. So, what's in the polio vaccine?
Tainted polio.
I'm just so what's in...
Although,
hold on, are you vaccinated for HPV, miss? What's in the HPV vaccine?
For what it's worth, though, the vaccines for Chinese lung herpes weren't meant to be market ready and tested and FDA approved or
Not
whatever.
In 6 months, no.
It was supposed to be in 2022 or 2023.
Yeah.
The only reason that it has been able to been pushed is because of a medical emergency.
Because they were emergency vaccines, yeah.
Okay.
For the populations they were intended to take them.
So.
And now you have people who are not intended to take emergency vaccines who took emergency vaccines.
And that is so. I wonder how much longer there has to be people who are getting adverse effects from the vaccines. For example, we've already been seeing them. Remember when that one vaccine? Well, I don't know if it was just one, but postmenopausal women are not having their period, and some women, the uterus. It's not uterus. It's you. And it was just some people would just get sick and die.
Ultimately, though, Hold
And
on. It's an optional vaccine. Use at your own risk. And people, I mentioned this. It was an emergency vaccine.
Yeah.
This was like there. This is not an instance where the world's governments can be like, haha, got him. No, they were like, this is an emergency vaccine for emergency populations because this virus is not very well understood. But what we do know is these groups of people, you should probably, like, the risk of you dying from this is pretty high. The risk of side effects from this is pretty low. It's a clear cut like trade. Where if you were like, hey, Minoxus, do you want to take the vaccine? I would look at it and be like, the statistical chances of something bad happening from either of these things are pretty low for me. But on the one end, the vaccine might give me a grab bag of thing. And there's a couple of different ones. Some of them are nothing. One of them was like, men in my age have like long-lasting breathing problems. Like, I'm not interested in that.
Oh, also death.
Yeah, death. But like, and on the other hand, equally small percentage of the same things. Breathing problem, like if I get the virus, breathing problems for the rest of my life. Possibly die, small chance. But I'm taking two things, and it's like, so there's two things. One, you may get the virus, you may get sick, and it may cause a problem if you get it. Or, I'm going to stick you with this vaccine, and you might get it. How about I don't take the vaccine, 0% chance of like negative effects from the vaccine, and I don't go around people who are sick, and I wash my hands, and I maintain myself and distance myself.
I don't know. Are you laughing in Florida, man?
I'm just you know, I'm just saying, like, the virus, I have to come in contact with it, and we're at that point where the numbers are low enough where it's probably not going to happen.
Well, you know, Kool-Ader, I'd
With
like
the
to
vaccine,
believe.
I have to actively go somewhere and be like, all right, now hit me with that thing that might cause problems. And what am I battling? Like, what's the purpose of this? Oh, so you don't get that virus that probably won't do anything to you. It's a lose-lose for me.
But then herein lies the problem. So you get a vaccine, and then on top of that, there's like you got to get the booster, and you got to get it later, and you got to get it again because what if like you get the vaccine, and then like
No, it's gonna be
some
boosters.
guy from Papua New Guinea
There are gonna be seasonal
comes to
shots.
and then it never ends, and it's just like playing Mad
Actually-
Libs from where people come in the world with their own strain of Chinese lung herpes. I mean, hell, how do we know that like right now there isn't someone who ate like because it's even in getting with other shit like swine flu and avian flu and those have had spikes too.
Yeah.
And it's so Kool-Ader. I'd like to believe that the good kind of grab bag probably comes with maybe like a Butterfinger or some Reese's peanut butter cups. What kind of like listen, I'm curious about this Kool-Ader. If you were to go to like a gas station or like a bodega, and like among the garbage chocolate or whatever you could get in a bodega, because of course you're getting the salt and vinegar potato chips.
Possibly, yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna get candy.
Now, like, right. So, like,
Or I'll get a yogurt if they have yogurt.
potato chips. Well, I wouldn't be. I'd like to think that there are maybe like the middle end, not high end, middle end gas stations, or like you know where they'd have that truck stops.
Yeah.
I bet you truck stops have like fucking yogurt.
A lot of places carry it now.
So
People are more health conscious these days.
so Kool-Ader. All right. So like either potato chips or the delicious chocolate garbage that they have, like Goobers and Twix and like M&Ms and like what are you getting? What speaks to Kool-Ader? All right. And if it's salt and vinegar potato chips, that means you get to wrestle Minoxus.
That's not true. Don't pick that because you think that's true. So you had asked before, what am I most excited about with the end of quarantine? Movie theaters.
Ah,
Movie theaters are very high up on the list.
the last movie I saw in theaters was Joker.
I don't remember the last one I saw. It might have been, I don't know, it might have been Joker. I don't remember. But movie theaters.
Oh,
And spas.
really?
Yes.
Do you like to go to Spa Castle in Flushing?
No, there's children there.
I usually go for the dill pickled flavored potato. Oh,
Those are
okay.
pretty good chips.
Not bad, Kool-Ader. That's actually better than not bad. All right.
But yeah, spas, but good spas.
You mean like Spa Castle?
No.
I've only been to Spa Castle.
No, Spa Castle has children.
All right, fair enough.
I don't want children around me when I'm at a spa. It's
I
weird
usually-
and annoying.
Playing Hershey bar. Hey, do you fuck with s'mores? Let me know, Kool-Ader. Do you fuck with s'mores? So, I hope that live shows are still going to be. It's going to be so weird to go to live shows and see people wearing like masks, like, and you don't have to, and they just smug, righteous, like. And I hope they get made fun of by the band, like, and then the band gets canceled. It's probably. I mean, okay. Now that's
Probably not gonna happen.
I know, but I hope we can stop before that.
The bands are probably gonna have that. So.
But then, what if watch one band will go on tour, and it has to be like an iconic band, because I was really hoping a world leader would have died of Chinese lung herpes in 2020, but it didn't happen. So if now restrictions are open, and gone, and let's say like Bon Jovi, and it's hey, like Bon Jovi rocking through the world, and like he flies through like Latin America, and he plays in like Colombia and dies because he gets like Colombian lung herpes.
Well, that's the thing though. Now that all this is coming down, and we're leaning out of it, we're no longer gonna have the like how over here. I mean, it was everywhere. It wasn't just here. We're no longer gonna have the they died of a thing and it looks like it was in the lungs. It's COVID. Mm-hmm. Like that's not gonna happen anymore. We're gonna go back to like, no, they got pneumonia, they died. So like, you are gonna hear less and less about this as time goes on, unless there's a strain that like puts us right back into it. Mm-hmm. Like COVID-19 deaths, as they slowly diminish, are gonna be bundled in with like the yearly pneumonia, the yearly flus, the yearly cold deaths. And if some fucking celebrity dies, and it's like, well, they had water in their lungs, and it may have been COVID-19, but the doctors say it could have also been like pneumonia, or whatever. Because it's going to get put in that bunch of like, and then they died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
Because it's the same way that when people died of pneumonia during the COVID-19 lockdowns.
It was marked as Chinese lung herpes.
Because there was no way to differentiate.
Yeah.
You can't tell like what killed them. Well, this is what killed them, but they had all these other things happening.
So
and there's like a huge selection of things where like they all fucking look similar.
So there's no way to okay, so
I'm sure you could do a proper test.
Right, or you could differentiate. Like, let's say someone died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
And someone who died of pneumonia because they were afflicted with Chinese lung herpes.
Yeah, no, like there's definitely.
I'm sure there's got to be a difference, right?
But I believe that once we get out of the big lump, like once we're over the hill on the quarantines, which we're slowly coming into now, mm-hmm. Someone dies of COVID-19, it's no longer because like you can't sensationalize it anymore. Now it's just the crumbs left over after the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Most people have had it and passed it, or the ones that should be worried about it anyway. Like it's similar to how who was that? There was an actor. I forgot who it was. I think it was. I don't want to misquote any like the person, but like somebody was like, I can't go film this movie because COVID restrictions. I don't trust it. I'm older. It's not going to happen. And then let's flash forward to 6 months from now, and someone's like, the quarantine has been lifted. The mask mandates are gone. And we're no longer talking about the lockdowns. We're in the like, woo, we got past it. And everyone's going to sing songs on Instagram about how we did it. And then
we did it, Reddit.
Someone's going to go, we're filming a movie. You want to come do it? And they're not even going to think twice. You know what I mean?
Well, now.
It's like, oh, we're out. So we're out.
You could look this up. I believe this is Tom Cruise was on a movie set. And he was berating people about like he either was like coronavirus, blah, 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 or he was criticizing someone, or I don't know. But the point is, he ended up getting tested positive for it. LOL. It happened.
I heard about it, but like
kind of weird how Tom Hanks, when all this happened, he was like, "Oh no, I tested positive for coronavirus. I'm gonna move to Greece." It's like, all right, why'd that happen?
God.
Anyways,
but yeah, there's. So I'm foreseeing that the moment we can officially say the global quarantine is done, mm-hmm. and we're back to like, okay, there's still places in quarantines, but it is now like the second it's like this place is not in quarantine, it's no longer global, or these places, we'll see where they draw the line, because I'm sure there's a few places where they're like, we're fine now.
Yeah.
But how many, like once the U.S. is like, we're done. That's it. Quarantine's over.
Well,
and then that's when everyone, like, once it's no longer like, oh, we're not in a quarantine anymore.
It's going to be like that by the beginning of July.
The mask mandates are gone, and then everyone's going to have that switch where they're just like, and that's it. Even though it's totally not over, and there's still places suffering, and the virus is still a thing, it didn't just disappear, and the vaccines don't work all the time. But hey, you know what? Go fucking do things, right?
Imagine, oh man, all right. You've seen Scanners, right?
Yeah.
So, memory serves me correctly. There was an anti-pregnancy medication that kids that were born by women who used that medication came out with the fucking like powers. So, what is the likelihood of like, okay, so like there are these women and they get the vaccine and then the kids are being born? Like, we have yet to see what happens to kids that are born
after mRNA vaccines, you mean?
yes.
Yeah.
We have and so that's so much hinges on that too, because what if they're, because if anything goes wrong, what are we just going to pretend that the vaccines didn't like put an entire generation of
if you can tie it back to the vaccine. Because it's all right, like, oh my god, there's a whole generation of kids born with a new fucking thing. What could have done it? What was happening around that time? I don't know. The fucking metals in the air are super high. We had experimental vaccines. We've been fucking eating hormone pills because people were going through this like fucking movement. Like, it's, you want to, like, the fucking processed foods have been a thing for fucking ever that no one's ever properly studied. Like, we legalized a bunch of drugs and that shit's been getting cut with stuff since forever. Like,
oh, Monoxys.
Unless you can
ever the
trace
pragmatist.
unless you can track it back to the vaccine, it's gonna go under the radar. It's just gonna be a new thing. How many things today are because of fucking like other things that we never traced it? We're just like, it's a thing now.
Under the radar.
It's just a thing now, and like, because no one gives a fuck.
You're right.
If anything, I think the absolute worst that could happen with that, because of the whole some women had menopausal results to this. If you start seeing sterilized women a few years from now, that would make headlines. Because then they'd be able to go, well, women who were went through menopause had a reaction which caused them to have their periods again. So clearly there was something going on there. And then you can, from there, to be like, and then there's a large percentage, I wouldn't say large, but like there's a percentage of women who, like, if they were sterilized. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not crackpotting it. I'm just saying, like, something like that. Or even dudes where it's like, their sperm count's, like, minuscule and they were fine and they're like perfectly healthy,
and then they shoot blanks.
Yeah, and then like 2 years later, but like how many guys get their fucking sperm check count? Like,
this is true.
No one fucking gets that shit checked out. But like, I mean, if there's a statistic for people where it's like, no, my sperm count was great and I got vaccinated, now it sucks. Like, okay, there you go.
Very quickly.
So
Kool-Aid chimes in with, you know, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be a day coming very soon where a switch will flip and global warming is going to be the worst thing ever again. You think so, Kool-Aider?
I feel like a lot of countries, I should say,
you know, because
have been padding the global warming argument by being like green initiatives, and everyone's slipping on it as if all these green initiatives and clean energy things are doing anything for all the people who aren't doing stuff. I don't know, it's so weird to see, like, oh, we have an overflowing cup and we gotta do something about the faucet, and someone's like, here's an idea, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Look, I saved it, and it's like, the cup's still full. The cup's still full.
Right. Doing it wrong.
Like, we have to see how the cup's full and the water's pouring in, and you're like, we're just gonna slow the flow of water. The problem is the cup is overflowing. We gotta fix the cup situation, like, I don't know, get another cup, empty the cup a little bit, just turn it down a little bit. It's fine, and it's like, it's still going. It's still happening. It's not like nothing. You're slowing
just a little bit.
Like, I mean, like, maybe even use the analogy of like, the cup's filling up, and it's like, it's filling up too fast, and we don't want it to overflow. Let's turn it down a little bit. You bought us time. The cup's still gonna overflow. Global warming, and then like, it's still happening.
I remember when they tried to blame there was this weird. All reading from the same cue cards. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. If I brought this up, but earlier words mean things. Where people who are very pro-environment, and there was overlap with the Trump Russia crowd, where they were like, NFTs and crypto, they're a burden to the environment. Like, do you remember that?
I remember hearing about it and then shrugging it off because I just don't understand where it came from.
But it's just a very strange thing to, like, from now on, everyone remember that our people hate crypto because environment. Yeah, and that was like.
Is there like a TLDR version of why crypto is bad for the environment?
I've yet to see one or read one. I mean, to a slight degree, there is some merit to what they say, because to mine crypto, you need like a server room.
Yeah, it requires electricity.
Right. But that's not the reason the ozone layer has a hole in it.
Well, if you want to make the argument that, like, mining crypto is not helping the environment, you're technically not wrong, but neither is charging your phone by that logic.
Neither is
using your car, having lights on, using energy. Anything you do with energy is bad. Granted, crypto is in, like, a large scale, but, like, at that point, so every office building's got to go. Because they're just full of computers and server rooms.
Oh, wait, are we picking and choosing which offices get to stay open or not?
Not us, the people who are in charge, who are probably causing the problems in the first place. But,
and even if they were in that position, then they still right.
That was the case, huh? It was about the energy use.
Right.
What if I'm mining crypto and all of my power comes from a solar panel? Does that negate the argument?
I'm sure they'd figure a way to make you out to be a bad person still.
I'd like to see if that's a thing.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'll look into it. But, like, what if someone's mining completely on solar power? Because if it's just about the energy use, and it's like you get your power from X, and it's like, and it is a lot of power.
And the sun.
Exactly.
Praise the sun.
I mean, technically, if you want to talk about, like, environmental hazards due to, like, making money, right? Wall Street, day in, day out, computers, screens, constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop.
Hey, that's a good question, because Wall Street, for all of its machinations, and I'm sure it's more now, but in the 2000s, it was said that like $1 trillion exchanges hands in Wall Street every day. All right, so if the people who are really hung up on capitalism and all these other things, and like, all right, well, like, what about Wall Street?
Yeah.
First of all, what about Wall Street? Second of all, how much power does it take just for the stock exchange to be?
Yeah, like, what's its energy usage to stay up and
and obviously people in this field, what do you call it? Domain, this world, but like they're now kind of beholden to New York City Eastern Standard Time, but business never sleeps, and like what happens in the New York Stock Exchange ends up affecting what happens in like the Tokyo Stock Exchange.
Yeah,
and then so that power is okay, but crypto is bad, and like that's like I
possibly. I'm sure someone's made that connection as well. But I would have a second question for that person. Mm-hmm. Like, what about Wall Street? And if then they were like, okay, well, Wall Street's a lot of power too. And I'm like, is a better alternative that we do all of our trading on paper? So how do we? What's the alternative here? Should I make microplastics that I can turn into sheets and like do handwritten notes and exchanges on? Like, because you can't stop the exchanges.
Right.
So should we make actual coins for crypto, and like the process in which to melt down metals or plastics, whatever material we decide to use to make coins, and then physically trade coins again? Like, what's the better alternative to the electric version of it? Because there isn't one.
Shit. Okay, you have to put that down as number 2, and number 1 is what about solar panel mining?
Yeah.
All right, no, this is all right.
What's the alternative there? Like, I mean, because I feel like solar powered crypto is like that's a no-brainer.
Or if you're Monoxus, you just put it down on index cards.
Yeah, and like kill trees. Mine the earth to get metal to make actual coins so we can turn crypto into a physical currency, because fucking, I guess digital is too environmentally unfriendly. Wow. I wonder how much they care about like paper money.
Well, good point. What if they don't give a shit about paper money because they've been using cards their whole life?
That doesn't mean that we're not printing it.
And they're detached.
It doesn't mean that we're not printing it. It doesn't mean that we're not making it. It doesn't mean it's not in circulation. I only use a card. Yeah, not the rest of the fucking world.
Man.
We still print money. We still make pennies. Like,
Hey, if memory serves me correctly, I think it was The Simpsons. Could be wrong.
geothermal powered crypto. That's what I'm talking about.
If you've ever had... Oh, that's right. It was The Simpsons when they were trying to figure out who shot Mr. Burns. They were like, how do you have everyone's DNA in town? And I think it was Chief Wiggum who was like, if you've ever handled a penny, the government has your DNA.
Yeah, we still manufacture pennies in this country. Nobody.
Chad Geysers versus Virgin Solar Panels.
I think I'm one of the only people I know that still has pennies in their wallet because I have like a coin section, and when I get change, I keep it so that when someone's like, "And that'll be 17 cents," I'm like, "No, fuck you, I have it. Give me my bill." You don't need them sitting there being like, "Here's your change, sir." Get out of here.
Oh, sir.
Just round it. I hate that we still use fucking coins in general. Round it up. Round it up or round it down. Why do those increments exist?
And imagine someone is short 3 cents one day and they're fired.
How many that would be ridiculous. That'd be too much.
I bet you it happens.
You know how many places I've been to where it's like, and then 5 cents, and then they're just like, they just hand me like the rounded amount anyway, because what, you're gonna 5 cents? No, no one cares. Although I did have somebody once back at the restaurant I worked at, because we had an automatic rounding in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it auto rounded up. If it was in like within like a 5 cent margin, it was auto rounded up. So there was no 95, 96, 97, 98, 99.
All right.
It just went to $1. And I had a guy once look at it, because if that happened, it would say rounded. And he came up to the counter and was like, "Why did this get rounded?" And I was like, "Because anything that gets to between 96 and 99, like 95 cents, you will pay 95 cents and get a nickel back." Like
rock, paper, scissors, A of the H. Thank you. We're going to get to this in just a moment.
So we just avoided having pennies. So we had like silver change. And it was like the whole point is that we don't want to give people pennies. So we rounded it from that point on.
Right.
And if it ever goes into those digits, it just rounds. So our system is always by the fives.
So he, what was he?
He wanted his change.
Really? What was this guy wearing?
A suit.
Of course.
And he was a very specific type of person.
Oh, like a how you doing kind of person? Like
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was that obvious?
It was that obvious.
Oh.
Because of something he was wearing.
Oh, yeah. You got to protect the bald spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how they keep them on kids? Staples.
All right. Ready?
On 3. Wait, okay.
On 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ooh, got him. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Curses! All right.
Oh,
so, Kool-Aid, are you keeping track? Please let us know.
I'm sure Kool-Aid is keeping track. It's also not. It doesn't. We don't have to keep track. It's not a thing we have to do.
Well,
He's welcome to.
He bought this up on himself because he's not even... All right, I'm not even going to get into this because then he's going to be like, "You're busting my balls over here."
Yeah.
Because, there's a... You said 69. So...
I'm pretty sure last time he did 9.6. He did like 9.5. He did that on purpose.
By the way, Kool-Aider, Stained Haynes is all lowercase. So it would have to be 6'9" lowercase h.
Yeah.
Haynes.
Either way. I gotta call it. I gotta be up early tomorrow.
All right. Ladies and jerks, we appreciate you coming down. Thank you for the best public access. No one else is watching other than you.
That's true. And I don't know what day I'm going to be available. I'll let you know, though.
Saturday is on the table?
Saturday's not on the table this week.
Okay, that's right.
That's this week, no. Hey, look at that. A of the H popping in with that orthorect. Don't even start it right now. We're closing up. Don't redeem it. Yeah, he won. You won. I think you won.
The first one?
Yeah. That's how we got to 9.5. Pretty sure. After stream, I'm gonna take a shower and chill for a little bit, but I gotta be up early tomorrow for work-related things.
and I'm probably just gonna have dinner and then probably read or bullshit on the internet.
Eat something.
Real quickly.
Well, I'm gonna read some Dune. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta read more Dune.
Orthorexia nervosa is a fixation on righteous eating. First diagnosed by Colorado physician Dr. Steve Bratman in 1997.
Why, Basement? What are you trying to do?
What's good, Basement? Womp.
This man's trying to chill. Maybe. Trying to chill, Basement?
Basement, are you at work? Can I
it's-
trouble you for some
I
water?
believe he's at work. If I didn't have work shit tomorrow, I'd definitely chill.
I noticed people not redeeming the hydrate. See, we got to hydrate on our own.
It's fine. Yeah, gotta call it though. Show up to what?
Show up to your good after work. Basement, are you having a stroke?
Oh, okay, you're pulling through over here. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I gotta get up early, otherwise I would. This whole month's gonna be a mess for me.
All right, well,
Anyway, folks, I do gotta call it.
buenas noches. Gracias por tu presencia aquí hoy noche. It's